Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur show. Mandem United podcast meets the Ballers at the Bridge podcast meets Talking at Tottenham Talk podcast, where we'll be talking all things Tottenham Hotspur, all things Chelsea, and all things Manchester United. Julian Alvarez to Chelsea. This one caught me by surprise and caught many others, I believe, by surprise. Julian Alvarez being linked to Chelsea, so we will be discussing that. And speaking of Chelsea, Conor Gallagher again linked to Spurs, so we'll be discussing that as well. Obviously, Chelsea just got their new manager in. James Maddison left out of the England squad, which I'm sure a certain someone will want to talk about a lot. Big up to everybody who is locked in though already. Please make sure you run up the likes though. Run up the likes on the video. Make sure you do that. Whether you're watching live right now or watching this back, share across all of the socials as well. So important you do that. Please share across all the socials. And on top of those two things, subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. Hit the notification bell. Normally, this show will run Thursdays, midnight UK time, people. But we moved it to Friday because we were trying to run through clubs. But big up, and when I say pro clubs, for those, big up to everyone that was locked in for that as well. But big up to AJB, I see you gaming as well. Walshy, see you also. Big up nephew in the chat. And I believe Jez is in the building. Jez, let me know if you're there, right, in the private chat, and I will click you in. Again, though, make sure you following across all socials, man. That's me flawless at Sarcasm City TV, Twitter, X, and Instagram. And let's bring in, the man, the legend, one of the pillars, the OGs of Sarcasm City. My like Jez. Yes, fam. What you saying? This guy, yo. Look at this guy, Zavi. Fuck you.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. This guy.
No, because what's the call? I think you are lagging, bro. Check is this me?
Am I lagging? Is it me? Am I lagging? Let me know if I'm lagging. If I'm lagging, I'll switch some stuff up.
Yo, I need to know. Is it me?
Yeah. Are you lot in the chat? Am I lagging or am I good? Let me know.
Hold on. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Yeah. Jump out and jump back in. And let me know. Hey, Don C, big up, man. I'm good. All right. That means it's on Jez's end. It's on his end. Jez will jump out and jump back in. Yeah, it's Mopai. He's a joke, man. That was hilarious, though. I'm sure Jez will talk about that, the joke, man. But when I see that, shout out to Mopai. Because we need more of that in the Premier League game, man. We need more of that type of thing without doubt. Like even the one before where he was in the octagon training and he tagged at AFTV Media. How no one from AFTV Media didn't respond to that is crazy. I thought Robbie would have, added back like with Ty. You wouldn't want to see that Neo Mopai versus pick someone from AFTV. I don't know. But Robbie, even though they're different weight classes, Ty. Yeah, why not, man? Neo Mopai versus Ty. You telling me that wouldn't sell out? You say you could get a whole card. What are we talking about here? Could easily do that. Well, you lot get your questions in. If it's anything Tottenham or Chelsea related, I'll star it for when Surfer and Jez get here. But anything Manchester United related, I'll get to. There's nothing new. We spoke about it earlier in regards to Ten Hag, where Sky Sports announced that there could be an announcement on Eric Ten Hag. Could be, yeah. So there probably won't be. But we move. Yeah, Southgate, yeah. That's why I didn't do a watch along for that England game, Carl. I half watched it as I was doing other bits and pieces. And yeah, I was just like, all right, let me just make some thumbnails and do some other bits for the Euros coming up, etc. as well. Warrior J, blessed for that. And for someone who said, why would City, when we get to this, hold up. Because someone asked in the chat, one sec. To Walshy69 who says, why would City sell Alvarez? I say that nobody's irreplaceable at Manchester City. I think that's one thing we've noticed. Like, is Alvarez a good player? Yes. Is he a valuable asset to them? Also, yes. Is he a good squad player, and has he contributed to them winning trophies? Also, yes. But the way Pep has that set up, you can get someone else there to do that. It's not like he's a mainstay. It's not like he's the main man. It's not like he starts week in, week out. That's just the way it is. So why would they sell him if they have someone else in mind? And that's how they look at it. It's like selling Jesus. That's exactly how I look at it. Jesus is the criteria that I just mentioned there. Help them win trophies, a good squad player, I think he's a good player overall, but nothing special. And that's how I look at Alvarez. I think he's a good player, and that's it. I don't think he's anything spectacular, to be honest. But that's just me. Yes, Jez, what are you saying? The chat was saying I'm fine. Are we good? You back?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, it was me. I don't know why. Now about the Alvarez thing. I think even earlier it was reported there's a couple of conditions that even need to happen, which is obviously a big one. City first, Alvarez needs to go tell City that he wants to leave.
Yeah.
That's the money. The City is not actively looking to actually sell him.
Mhm.
And then the second thing is that they want a big fee for him, innit?
Oh, is that a
So
big fee? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
they want a big fee for him. So it's not going to be anything like, oh, they're going to sell him for 50 mil. Now that they want actually a good fee because he has still a good amount of years left. So we don't even know what the situation even is with Alvarez. Like I said, it's like I think it's Coney because he's not playing a lot. So Haaland's obviously there,
Yeah.
but he knew that already since he obviously joined them when Haaland was there. So it's nothing new to be honest. So
Right.
like I said, I think it's one of them ones where I think it's one to look out for, definitely, because obviously PSG is looking also for it, because PSG is just literally scattering around the whole world for an attacker now to replace
Yeah.
the quality that Mbappe left him, obviously. So nah, I guess one. I think this is one gonna be one for later in the window. Later in the window, I don't think anything recent is gonna happen. But all of a sudden he makes a transfer, considering Copa America is gonna start soon as well.
True that. True that. Big up Surfer in the cut as well. What are you saying, Surfer? You good?
Yeah, I'm all good. I instead of watching the England game, I ran outside and headbutted my fence, and that was more enjoyable. So it's all good.
Shit, that would have been more enjoyable for me to watch you run up and headbutt your fence. So next time, make sure you
How
film
can we
that
lose
stand
to?
out
How can we
somewhere.
lose to a supermarket? I don't understand. Twice now we've lost to a supermarket. Unbelievable.
Is
Hey,
England?
man.
But
Hey,
Surfer,
I prefer.
it's
Hey,
coming
I
home.
prefer Tesco.
It's
That's
coming
what.
home. It's coming home, man.
We might as well stay at home for losing twice.
I mean, it happens, man. I prefer Tesco meal deals.
Yeah, but this is the
Yeah, we know
problem.
you do. Joke,
We
man.
lost
know
our
you do.
three announcer squad as well. We didn't lose like before we announced the squad. We lost our three announcer squad.
Hey, that's a Southgate thing, and I'm sure we'll get any England questions you lot have. Feel free to get in because we will be turning into Euros 2024 Central from Monday. But yeah, Chelsea have made it known I've made it known they'll make a proposal for Julian Alvarez in the next few days. That's from I don't even know who that is. Who's Gaston though? I have no idea who that is.
He's a top tier source for Argentina.
Yeah.
Argentine
Okay.
players. Yeah.
All right, big
Or
up Warriors,
Argentina. Yeah, I want there.
Well, we'll go to you, sir, and start with that. Julian Alvarez, I was saying just before you joined that it caught me off guard, and I think it caught many others off guard. But is it something you're for? You're against? What's your thoughts?
Oh, I'm definitely for it. If it's between him and Zesco, they're two different style of strikers to begin with, so there's no comparing them in the way they play. Listen, I put my tinfoil hat on this week, and it was like because I knew we were linked to him like Wednesday night, not Thursday when it broke. So it was very weird because they announced there was news like Julian Alvarez, he may be looking to leave City, and then an hour later, Sky produced a report that Chelsea were trying to help Man City with their legal case or something like that. And my mind went, wait a minute. Are we they say we will help you in your case if you give us Alvarez on like 60 million?
You know what? I think that's a decent deal on you. You're not smart if you do that. If you said, all right, we'll back you, but throw Alvarez at us, and it's like, that makes sense. I get that. I fully get that.
No, listen, I would find it I don't know what City would do in terms of a replacement for him, who they go out and get. Do you know what I mean? I can understand him wanting more minutes. He's hardly played in his actual position. He got like nearly 20 goals last season, which is impressive. But remember, we saw him at times play beside Rodri in the midfield, out on the wing. It's like Pepper's played him everywhere apart from his actual position. And that's understandable. You got Erling Haaland there. That was the problem he faced when he knew about that problem when he signed. He signed in the same season as him. Do you know what I mean? So Haaland's going to be the number one pick, as he should be. Alvarez is a good player. He's had last season sensational season, winning a treble and a World Cup in the same season. He's a very good player. I don't know. I don't know. I think this would be more of a detriment to City than when they sold Jesus. Because I think this guy is maybe not like in some aspects. I think Jesus is better, but I think he's a better fit. I think Alvarez is a far better finisher. than Jesus. And I don't know, man. I don't know what Maresca's trying to cook there. Obviously, not. We won't be crossing the ball into the box a lot if we've got Alvarez up front. But if he's trying to cook,
I don't think his team crossed that much though.
I know. But if he's trying to cook something of a Alvarez, Nkuku, Palmer, Elise thing, then I'm all for it. I really am. I'm all for it. I'm more the merrier. I'm none of this. Oh, what's going to happen if this player joins? Oh, they'll go on the sus bench with a better sus bench. So, what do you want to say then? You know what I mean? Jackson. It's a big season. It's called rotation. They'll be coming off a Copa America, Euros, whatever. Next season, we're in the Club World Cup or whatever it's called. Next summer, do you know what I mean? It's a big season. Back down to the player himself, though. I think he's a very good player. PSG's a funny one though. He's linked to because they've literally got to pay for Ramos, this season. They want to pay 100 million for Kvaratskhelia, and they've still got Mawani as well. So it's like I think trying to get rid of.
I think it's the plan though. I don't think they're trying to get rid of anyone. I think they want
they're not. They're not.
I think they want to include him because the Mbappe contract relieved them of a lot of financial issues itself.
Yeah.
So I think pretty much the support is pretty much there to make it happen. And obviously I don't know if you heard it before you joined, because I said this to Flows in the chat that I think there's I saw a tweet earlier saying that how there needs to be two conditions: that one, that City gets the price that they want for him, a good one, but also he needs to go to Pep and City and say, I want to leave the football club. I think this was the report that I read. I need to go and find it. I hate this new Twitter update that it just refreshes immediately when you just go there. It's stupid, but I saw that, so that's why, in my belief, I think it's going to be one to look out for during the window. I don't think it's going to be a deal that's going to just happen just very quick. Copa's happening also in I think next week as well. I think on the Saturday I think it starts. I'm not sure, but so one to look out for sure, because we don't even know what Alvarez's standpoint was, because even for example, because I think this is completely different to a Palmer, because at least with Palmer we all knew that he wasn't even getting. He didn't even debut at the City properly in the Premier League.
That's what I'm saying. It's different. But I think if Palmer plays, they keep.
They don't sell him. Yeah, that's what I mean.
If he actually played any form of meaningful minutes, but carry on.
So this is completely different, and this is a replacement. I mean, because we haven't seen a price tag yet in terms of what City wants, because obviously they do from their standpoint. It seems they don't want to sell, but if they do make it available, I'm really interested to see what type of money they want for him.
I was reading they want somewhere between 65 and 80 million pounds.
Okay,
65 to 80 million pounds. They could get a good replacement with that money. I feel like they can definitely make something work with that. Like there's City are one of the better. I mean, they are the ones. I mean, ironically, there were a lot of clubs that scouted him before, but they were actually the ones that actually make the go ahead and actually make the bid to River Plate. So they don't shy away from those type of transfers.
The funny thing now with the news that yesterday that they didn't pass a rule where Premier League clubs can use sell assets like property and stuff like that in FFP. This changes Chelsea's negotiations in and out this season. They can take their time if they want to. They don't have to sell players. They don't have to sell players now. You know that Sky took that message off because they had to take Chelsea off the list now of the teams. They had to take the report down. Took it down.
And
yes.
That being said, speaking of things changing, stream about to change, you already know. You know what I'm saying? I can just call him a whirlwind of a content creator. That's what I say. But one of the Dons, like Jacob in the building. Yes, Jacob, what are you saying?
Yes, sir. How are we doing?
I just want to warn the chat, and if you watch this on playback, 1943 is when the quality of the stream went down. So I just want to do that right now.
I thought you were mentioning the year in which America had to save you, but we won't go there.
That's crazy.
We really do, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
How do you never mind.
He said 1943.
the
I've
fact that
been in
you-
this weird like World War II history
Yeah, it's the
buff
fact that you
thing
know
going
that off
on.
the top of the head just to say that instantly. All the things you could use 1943 for, and you utilize. I thought, yo, he's gonna go the football route or something like that. But no, all right, because that is
No.
crazy. That is
Hey,
crazy. But
big-
hey, welcome
big
to
up,
for those that
big
don't
up.
know, this is Jacob, United Spurs of America. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Close content creator of the channel. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe to his channel. I'll put the link in the title in a second. But carry on, Tifa. You're talking about Sky Sports having to take Chelsea off the list.
Yeah, that's funny. That's tickling. I like that. Actually, the quality of the stream's gone up after that. That's very good.
What can I say?
No, I'm very joking. Jacob's a good, you know, he's a good man. And I don't. I'm surprised Jacob knows what day it is at the moment. You know, with his newborn, and everyone should congratulate him in the chat for that as well.
Yes, facts.
Newborn.
Congratulate him on the newborn.
Oh, big
Love
up.
that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm really glad that y'all already made me laugh because I was in a super sour mood. I had actually kicked off a show and I was going to redirect this way before I joined because my wife came home early. She bathed the boy and he was in there crying and she was with me and she needed a bottle and it was like, I can't ask her to get me a bottle. I can't go just get a bottle. I had to end the show. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like, damn, like, and got all my stuff situated now, but hey, big up to y'all, man. Appreciate it. Y'all already made me laugh. I've been here for 2 minutes.
Yeah, man, it's all good, man. And like I said, that's just fatherhood. Like it is what it is. You working while you, you know what I'm saying? You being a pops. It's all well and good, man. I'm sure you're.
We'll run it back tomorrow. We'll run it back.
Let's go.
They should actually be the new warning sign you put on your stream every time you start. This may end if newborn needs me.
No, it's just my wife and I. We had worked it out, and it was just like the boy needed a bath, so I was like, that is what threw the monkey wrench and everything.
Yeah.
But he's toddler, newborn. What more do you want of uncertainty other than that? And you're talking about Chelsea. They're pretty. I'm pretty uncertain about what y'all are going to do next year.
Well, as I said, like Sky had to take and big up the Sheik. Sorry, I had to bail on the stream earlier, mate. I do apologize about that, but something just came up.
Every time.
But yeah, so Sky had to take down the original report yesterday that added Chelsea as one of the 6 clubs that needed to raise funds or sell players for June 30th because yesterday night report came through that Premier League have failed to pass a new rule or failed to close a loophole where Premier League clubs can use sales of assets as part of their FFP on there. So now Chelsea do not have to sell players for the June 30th deadline. That means the negotiation tactics change completely for players that if there are any players that want to go out, there's no rush to sell anyone. But yeah, that's what sets them up essentially this year, and they're pretty confident of beating next year's ones as well. That's why I just kept saying I didn't really comment much, and I just said just wait. But have you not learned the last 2 years? These guys will fight. Whatever you can critique these guys for the way they've hired managers, sporting directors, and stuff like that. But these guys seem to find every single loophole you can in existence, or manage to convince people to vote with them or stay with them or something like that, so it doesn't harm them. But yeah, back to the Alvarez thing overall. It's I don't think we'll sign him. I think we'll try and still sign Sesko, if I'm being honest with you. But if they're around the same price, I know which one I'm going for. I'm going for the proven,
been in the Premier League,
player, right? I mean, Sesko, he's got the height on him and stuff like that, but it's just too many question marks on him. That's what it is. But if City do let him go to whoever, I'll be fascinated who they try and bring in and try and convince to come in, like be understudy to Haaland.
I think I think if they're smart, they don't try and, unless there's like an obvious star out there who's at the age where being an understudy makes sense. They go and get someone who can play central as a false 9, but also can play out wide.
Here's the thing, right?
Like go get an Elise, for example.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? There's 2 things on the horizon, possibly for City, right? There's 3 things. So there's this case coming up in the next 2 weeks, right? Which could affect which may come into effect with the 115 charges later in the year. But there's still speculation around Pep that this could be his final season, right?
Yep.
Like that's coming up could be his final season. So are they going to? And we all know that. Let's face it, Man City have done a magnificent job of building a club over the last 10 or so years, right? They've done a brilliant job. But if you're being honest with you, if you're a player, you're only really going to City. The biggest reason you go to City is to be coached by Pep, right? That's the biggest reason. Yeah, it's the biggest reason.
Yeah,
that's
of course.
It is.
Of course, yeah. That's a massive.
It's not a slight at City. It's not a slight at City. It's just it's a big reason. It's a compliment. Yeah, it's a compliment. So the players that are coming up, it's like, do they go? How long? Because I know that I've heard like Manchester City fans say this past week, that some players only went to City because they were asking how long Pep's going to be there for. Do you know what I mean? So it's a natural thing. But like I said, Alvarez is a good player. I think Alvarez starts for, ironically, every club possibly apart from City.
Yeah. That's probably how he's looking at it. Like, I start anywhere else by here in the league. So it depends. But if City is smart, they'll get someone who not only can play striker like as a false nine, but someone who can also play out wide, whether that's right wing or left wing or both. No, I hear that. I fully hear what you're saying in that. So do you think it happens, Surfer? Do you think the deal gets done? I think it's a long shot.
I agree with Jez. I don't think it happens now. I think everyone's waiting for this transfer window to explode after this case with City. Do you know what I mean? Is it June the 10th, right? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah,
something like, no, June the 10th is Monday. I think it begins Monday, so it's like 2 weeks.
Oh, the trial it's going to be drawn out.
I think because if City managed to get through this, get this done, I mean, there's no limits essentially of what they're trying to do. Everyone can just literally go, yeah, will you sponsor me? Any billionaire mates is going to be, you just sponsor me for 200 million this year, please. Sponsor my club. Just do something like that. Just sponsor it. Just say you'll do it. Yeah, it's all good. Something like, I know that's probably not all it, but I'm just being over, like that. But I think they're just waiting for that because it's a little too. And plus, we're only at the start of June. I don't think our transfer window is actually even opened yet officially.
No, it's not open.
July the 1st.
It's 8 more days.
Oh, is it 8 more days?
7 or 8 days. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we only announced. Yeah, we've only just announced Tosin today.
That's why we're ahead of the game. Yeah, we're ahead.
Yeah, and you got Werner on loan.
We're ahead of the game. We don't have to say his name. You just say we're ahead of the
game. You got Werner.
We don't need to mention who he is.
Werner, Timo Werner.
Just say he's ahead of the game.
TIMO.
We're ahead of the game.
No, you couldn't be.
Jacob. Don't you? Not about your German wingo because we'll go there. But you have been linked again to Conor Gallagher. Thoughts, Jacob? Talk to us.
Conor Gallagher,
let me sorry, I'm still laughing about it.
This just guy's a dickhead.
I wouldn't be upset about Conor Gallagher. I think a few dominoes have to fall for Tottenham in order for it to happen. I would more be open to spend less than what I heard. 50 is a little high in my opinion, and then 50 would also be helping. That's straight profit to go to Chelsea's financial problems that you aforementioned. So the thing for me is really. I think it's after July 1st is when I would be talking to them about Conor Gallagher. I would not be looking to get it done before then because I'm not trying to help them. I don't want to. They're looking for a lifeline. What am I going to throw $50 million lifeline at them? No, thank you.
No. Yesterday, they like I said, they passed the rule where they allow property and assets to be put into FFP. We're fine. That's why we don't have to sell by the 30th anymore.
They're good now.
We don't have to sell.
Changed yesterday because I remember
it
was yesterday.
Because Jacob, did you see the report that Sky put out about the 6
I thought it was yesterday. They said that it was you and 5 other clubs
that
didn't have to sell.
Then, like 5 hours later, that David Ornstein dropped a dagger bomber that said, Premier League has failed to close a loophole that allows clubs to use assets. A sale of assets as part of their FFP, which means now our name's taken off. Our name's taken off that list, which means we're fine. If you want to discuss after July 1st, that's fine because it helps us for next year's. So if you want to do that,
well, now I don't know. Now it's like maybe I want to get it done early. I don't know.
But
in regards to Conor Gallagher, like the main overarching theme, like if I take Chelsea out of it, I take their financial things because I really shouldn't worry about that. I should just focus on myself, really. And if Conor Gallagher comes in and improves the squad, then that would be the point to hinge on. For me, is Conor Gallagher better than Oliver Skipp? Yes. Is he better than Pierre-Emile Højbjerg? Yes. Is he better than Sarr? Maybe. Maybe on this day he is, maybe on that day he's not. So that's when it really is. He better than Rodrigo Bentancur? I don't think so. Is he better than Bissouma? Those are the likes that we would be using him in and around. I'd imagine he would compete with either Bissouma or Sarr. And I mean, there's a reason he got picked as a captain. I think he does have positive traits as a athlete and a footballer. When he was at Crystal Palace on loan, I was actually very much impressed with him. When he went back to Chelsea, then I was very much not impressed with him. And I think, maybe somewhere in the middle is kind of where his pressure should be applied, and maybe you can see the best out of him. So I choose to. It's a better signing to me than Timo Werner. Although I think for the money, I'd rather just invest a little bit more and go for a Douglas Luiz than a Conor Gallagher. Personally, I would rather invest a little more money and get a little bit better. But does he improve this team? Yes. I just think that's not really shooting for the stars or the moon or whatever the fuck they're saying is. It's really just like, well, that's something we could get done, and it helps the homegrown quota. It's just kind of like
to make them align to quote a famous guy. Shout out to Toney, you know what I'm saying, and that to make sure the stars are aligning. Big up Toney every single time, and shout out to the Bridge 258 for the raid. Big up Ahmed for the raid as well, much appreciated.
I understand what he's saying though. Because if you're a Spurs fan and your first two signings of the summer are like Timo Werner on loan and Conor Gallagher, right? You're not doing like cartwheels. You're going.
Timo and Conor.
I'm looking at the manager funny. That's what I'm doing if they're my two signings. Like, what is this?
But where he's right though, and I will say this, listen, I don't hate Conor Gallagher. I just think if you overload his brain and ask him to do more than one or two things, you'll see his weaknesses. I think he's a perfect player for Ange, what Ange would want him to do. Even if he doesn't start, I've always said Conor Gallagher in the squad on the bench would be a great asset if you're like 2-1 up or something like 1-0 up with like 10 minutes to go, and you literally send him
on Højbjerg replacement.
He's send him on like Pac-Man. You send him on like Pac-Man just to swallow a thing up like that, like that, just to swallow all the yards and stuff like that.
Hey, that was a little.
Hey, I said swallow things up. I said Pac-Man. Swallow things up.
Who had the money on Surfer having the first AO when I joined?
You know. Say them odds were very low as soon as you joined, Jacob.
The odds were very low. Yeah.
What's up?
You know what? I just know. Hey, Pac-Man, you under review, man. You're under review. But
it's crazy. That being said, Jez,
can Jacob be a permanent fixture now from that last message that just popped up as well? Can he be a permanent fixture?
You know what? He might have to be still. Anyone who's Ryan repellent is.
If the result of Jacob here is you turning the stream off, Ryan, then Jacob's here for life. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Hey, yeah, there you go. You're helping me out, man. So come on, big up Ryan. Appreciate that.
I like Ryan, bro.
Also, Jez,
go on,
there's a better photo of that bitch of a man, Neil Maupay, you have on your photo.
Hey, you know what? Let's get your thoughts on that. So for those that don't know, Maddison was left out of the England squad, and then Maupay posted the picture that Jez is right
guy.
Here.
This guy is dreaming of James Maddison. He saw the Fabrizio tweet and he was like, oh, look, let's go to the darts. Bro, instead of going to darts, go find yourself a fucking club because nobody wants you. You've been alone there. You've been alone here. You've been alone everywhere. Nobody wants you. You need to figure out what you're doing in life. Instead of trolling a guy who failed to make it into his large international squad, you should look at yourself and see how you failed to make it into your large international squad, you pussy. He's rattled. He's mid. He belongs in the championship. That's where he can shine and do all this fun stuff. You can go argue with Patrick Bamford, my guy. That's the level he's at. But he's talking to James Maddison. It's like the bad bitch showed him a little bit of attention, and now all of a sudden, Neil Maupay said, "Oh, I'm really him because that one bad bitch looked at me one time." No, James Maddison was just like clapping back because you did his celebration. That's all it was. You just happened to be in the line of eyesight. She wasn't looking at you, my guy. And instead, now it's all about him. How quick did it take for this man to get to the dartboard as soon as I don't have an op Personally, I don't think I have an op that is just waiting by the phone like this motherfucker. Oh, let me go play some darts because James Maddison got left out the Euro squad.
I ain't gonna lie, because Mopai is such a great troll. I think he had that picture already there and was waiting. He was waiting to use that picture at some moment.
I agree. I think he's the type of he strikes.
Logistically, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's the type of thing I would do 100%. Like the 16 out of 10 clip. It's like, I was gonna use that strategically, and then obviously Ryan messaged Troops, and then it became a thing. But I was waiting to dunk on him if United would have lost to Liverpool in the FA Cup tie, but then it got leaked early, so it's like, all right, let's run it. So that's what it is. But yeah, go on, Jess.
I don't know why you guys can't believe that Neil Maupay was just showing off his new dartboard. I don't know why.
It's the type of shit you would do as well. It's exactly the type of shit you would do. And you would have it same way Jacob would, same way Jez would, same way most of the regulars here. Most people would have that already and have that picture taken and have just in case. Not even if he didn't get left.
He had it ready for anything negative regarding Maddison. It didn't matter what if he's kicked out of the squad. It could be like Maddison failed to pay his taxes or something like that, or like it could be anything that Maddison got.
Remember, man, what's it called? When Richarlison, when he was at Everton, and he had the bus where Liverpool fans wanted to go on with the bus to, I think, to the Champions League final, and he ordered a fake coach to get them to Paris, and the Richarlison had the picture edit. No, that dude is a troll. But I bought this Mopoy thing. It's hilarious because, by the way, if he can't find a football club, he actually fits to the channel. We need to give him.
He can find the dartboard real quick, but he can't find a football club.
Is he actually out of contract?
No, he's still at Everton. He's at Everton, but they don't want him.
Yeah, and Ndombele is under contract, but that don't mean that we want him. That don't mean that a Premier League club is looking at him.
So this is what I'm saying. So like, it's still up. I think for one more year. I think
that's crazy.
And Ndombele, Toney and Ndombele. Hey, he's my biggest what if though, because if he had the mindset of a GOAT, this guy, the natural ability that he had, I know that you were hype on him too, Jez. This guy is.
Bro.
Some of the things he did in the Tottenham shirt was like, how did he do that?
And then he just had one too many Matthews, bro. But Mopai thing. Obviously, we can talk about the Toney thing because I've been seeing it on the timeline again. But we can talk about it later. But now, about the Mopai thing, I find it personally hilarious because I thought even last time when the whole Brentford Tottenham game was going on, and I was like, yo, I like this shit. I said I like footballers with personality. The only shame is that Mopai is a shit footballer. Like, if Mopai was actually good, people would actually I would care about it more. So if he was actually good, I was like, you know what?
So I'm saying, yeah, it's like McDonald's writing. Sorry, Jess. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all good. It's all good. So yeah, and obviously people know my feelings currently about Maddison. I feel like, because Mopai is the type of person I am. I understand from where he's coming from in the sense of like, fuck it, the dude is down. Fuck it, this is my opportunity to shine. Like this is some 50 Cent type of shit right there. Like remember the whole Diddy and the whole Meek thing was going on. This dude just randomly started tweeting again. This is exactly like you have no business to be involved, but you're still involved. But no, I mean,
that's why 50 ain't made an album and been relevant, but he's still relevant. You know what I mean? Like he ain't made an album in how long, but he's still relevant. I see.
Music.
Yeah,
hey,
that's what I say. That's what I say.
Hey, tell all the Power fans, if you've not watched the new Power, go watch it. The new episode of the season opener, fire. That's no spoilers. It's fire. Go watch that shit. They about to knock this season out of the park. But yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, which I think leads to obviously the obvious conversation how it even started it. James Maddison being left out of the England squad, and obviously a lot of mixed reactions. Obviously today you saw England losing to Iceland again, and obviously people, obviously Spurs Twitter, they obviously said you missed somebody, and creative play on order, and I'll be real. I'm in the camp, but I've been criticizing him for the longest now since he came back from the injury, and for me, I don't know where the old. I understand that there's certain players that people look at and say, how is this player over Maddison in the team? But when I look at the attacking players who are actually in the England squad, I don't think it's necessarily the worst case scenario that Maddison even got dropped. And considering with his club form, if you want to include that as well, I'm not surprised that he got dropped. I really wasn't surprised, so I wasn't having any sort of like, oh, how did Maddison didn't make it? Jack Grealish, also another one where I felt like he didn't make it, obviously, and a lot of people know saying Grealish should have been there. All these guys should have been there, but in this reality, these guys haven't performed in 2024 enough to the point where we can sit here and say, you know what, they deserve to call up regardless. And we talk about all this, yeah, but then we always talk about how okay, but then he goes and gets guys like Maguire. Obviously, Maguire had the calf injury, that's why he didn't get picked. But if he didn't have it, I think Maguire goes, and Maguire is obviously the greatest centre back of all time, all of a sudden. But this goes to the point where I was saying that international managers have to have their favorites. It's in every country, from France to England to Italy. So I feel like those type of selections, I'm necessarily not going to be always going to be looking at them selections. I'm going to be like, okay, you make the selection, but then what do you do then with this resources then that you have? So, with Maddison getting dropped, I don't really feel sorry for him too much, to be honest. And I feel like this should be more of a situation where he looks at it and says, I think he's 27 now, right? So the next term, yeah, something like that. So it's the next tournament is the World Cup, which means he's going to be 29. So this should give him the inspiration to say, you know what, I can't have, yeah. So exactly. So this should be an inspiration to him of like, I can't miss this next tournament, because if I miss this next tournament, I'm going to be 31 for the next Euros. I can't wait that long. So I feel like it can only be a positive for him, but it's only he can respond by starting performing again. And I feel like this is the mindset of what it should be. It shouldn't be Maddison should still be there because there's certain guys in the team that he's better than. Now it should be that the guys should be performing and deserve a space. Like Essep deserves to be there. Wharton deserves to be there. Even Gallagher. I think Gallagher, in course of the overall season, was better than him this year. Obviously, two different positions in terms of where they play in the team. But the point still stands is that when I can make your arguments that guys like them, that people say, how did they make the England team and you have not performed better than those guys? I have to look at the player itself and maybe start asking questions like, maybe it's me why I didn't make it. But
no, that's fair. That's very fair. Before you carry on, though, big up to Saeed for the raid. Shout out to my done Saeed every single time. Big up to everyone who's joined over from the raid. Make sure you subscribe to Saeed TV. Everyone who's joined over from the raid, though, however you hit before the raid, run up the likes. There's now over 250 people in here, only at 66 likes. Let's get that up to 110. Like check 1 2 1 2.
England versus
like,
Iceland ratio. What is this?
man, run up the likes, and also on top of that, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to Jake. See, look at that party balloon. Subscribe to Jacob's channel, people. Link is in the title, United Spurs of America. Click the link. It opens up a new tab where you can subscribe to his channel there and all the socials as well, people. But yeah, Jacob, back to you from what Jez was saying. Well, same topic. Maddison missing out on the England squad. You think it was right? Wrong?
I want to echo what Jez is saying. Yeah, I hope it pisses James Maddison off. If anything, the Neil Maupay thing, I hope that pisses him off too. Because whether Neil Maupay's here or there is irrelevant. And Jez is right on that. It's on James Maddison to run it right. Because when I first heard it, I said, that's fair. He didn't really have that great of a season. He had a great 10 games, but does a third of a season mean you've had a good season? You know, if I do one out of the three chores my wife asked me to do, is she gonna be pleased with me on the day, or is she gonna be not very happy with me? You know what I mean? So hey, that's my. You know, I'm not going to say what Gareth Southgate should or shouldn't do. We all know that man is a fraud. So when it comes to his tactics, with or without James Maddison, they're going to be unsuccessful. So it really doesn't matter to me on the grand scheme of things, like an international sense. That doesn't matter. But for James Maddison personally, I think this is only going to be good for Tottenham because he didn't have a good year. And I liked his post. He came out and he said genuinely how he felt. And a lot of people critiqued him about it. They said, oh, you're a grown man, buckle up, put on your film type shit. And I was like, if you want to take that approach, that's fine. I like that he acknowledged the fact maybe it was because I didn't come back from injury in the best of form. I came back from injury and I was kind of mid, is basically what he said with a bunch of words. And I appreciated that. It's a self-reflection of an acknowledgement that you weren't good enough. And maybe that played a factor into Homeboy's mind whenever he said, oh, I'm not going to pick you. I'm going to pick Ivan Toney, who scored 4 goals in 12 or 18 appearances or something like that. You know what I mean? mean? Which again, I don't want to tell a manager what he should or shouldn't do, but Gareth Southgate is a fraud, and it's just funny to watch them self-implode in that manner. But James Maddison, I hope he uses this as motivation. I hope he's real upset. Be upset and use the next 2 years to prove why you deserve to be a starter in the World Cup. So I think it's only good for us.
Once again, it's just a confusing message sent by this England manager. Ironically, he's actually bringing players in that people wanted, or not picking players that they didn't want to perform. But it's just doing it at a weird time. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, the Crystal Palace boys get them in, no problem. But they literally have like two international games warm up before going to a tournament. It's like, and then you go, yeah, I'm going to send people. But then he still took Luke Shaw. So Harry Maguire couldn't pass a fitness test with his calf, but they're taking Luke Shaw, who they don't know whether he's going to be fit enough, and hasn't played and also hasn't played for months. Do you know what I mean? As a potential left back.
No actual left back as well after Luke Shaw.
I don't know if there even is a left footer in the. Oh no, there is. Palmer's left foot.
No, there's left footed because you got four.
Yeah, it's a weird. Listen, I think he's literally gone attack heavy because I think he's bowing out after this tournament. So I think he's going to screw it. I'm going to pack this with as many attacking talent as I can, and we're just going to freestyle it as much as we can.
I was surprised Maguire. I was honestly surprised.
He got a calf injury.
That's what it
didn't go. He would have gone if it wasn't for the injury. But because again, goes back to then, and Stones got injured today as well. So if he's so if Stones not gonna play, talking about the partnership now of Gay and Dunk going into the tournament.
He didn't take Braithwaite. He didn't take Braithwaite.
No problem.
I mean, why aren't you taking Braithwaite? You're taking.
Did you see what he said? Did you say what he said? Did you see what he said about why he didn't take him? He said it was a bit too soon for him. What the fuck? Is Esse and Watson not in the team?
You're taking Warren, Eze, and let's face it, Palmer has not had much international experience either.
This is his first. I think this was his second corner, but actually playing now.
Oh yeah, Gurhey's not had much as well. Dunk's not had. You know, what are we doing here? I don't even know why. Why don't you just come out and say, "Yeah, I just picked the players I liked." Why don't you just do that instead of trying to rationalize it for us?
I don't. So, sorry, because I hate to say in this regard entry Conor. I think he's looking at Conor as like a fullback option. I don't think he looks at him as a centre back.
Mad. I think he's not good enough at
fullback. How about just take a fullback? How about just take an actual fullback?
I mean, you ask too much.
Here's the thing. Why don't you take Reece? You could have taken Reece James. He's fitter than Luke Shaw at the moment. Could just taken him.
You know what? That is actually a very, very
he could have gotten Leif Davis from Ipswich. Like he helped him.
Who's the leader?
RB Doughty.
Yeah,
Doughty.
He's not
He's English. He's English.
I just presume British, but I didn't know if he was English or
he's actually English. So
his name does sound Scottish. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So that's why I was like.
I mean, he might be one of them ones where he's like part Scottish, but then he's one of them ones like English.
Why did he not tell you? Why did he not tell Doughty? Like, why not just take? He actually had a good season.
Lewis was Scottish.
Yeah, he's not even. He's not even.
Take different Mexico or Tyreek Mitchell. If you're taking the Palace guys, why don't you take the
This is what I'm trying to say. That's why even the Brayford comment itself just didn't make sense to me to begin with. It was, which ironically, because I think Brayford, out of all the youngest, actually played the most games this season, which is the ironic part. But now this is kind of my thoughts about the Maddison thing. Obviously, we can go a bit more into the England thing, maybe a bit later. But obviously, the Conor Gallagher thing, obviously before we were just talking about the Mopai thing. I'm kind of like similar to in Jacob in the sense of I don't think, and also Sofa as well. I don't personally think that Conor Gallagher is like the most awful player that I've ever seen. And I think people misunderstand my feelings towards the player. Where my biggest issue is that you're talking about Chelsea wanting 50 million for him on the year left. I'm like, if Chelsea were literally just to half that price, 25 million, I'll take it. I take it and I'll be like, okay, I can see why the manager, because I agree with Sofa. Like, he actually fits what Ange wants to do as a player. Can you find somebody with more quality? 100%. But I think the manager's really, really in which word do I look in? Really, can I say in love with the player? I don't know how to describe. Yeah, I guess I use that word, but I think this is where it goes to me, where I say, okay, if you go in and sign these type of players for them, even like a 25 mil, even though when I look at it, I don't really like it. But if you can make it work, I can see that. I can sit here and then say, congrats, you made it work. But if you're gonna go then and say to Chelsea, fuck it, we're gonna pay the 50 million, get you just to not start and not also impact the team enough. Because I say it all the time on here. The second season for every manager is the most important season because it's the do and die for me. Once you survive the second season, for me, it means you must have done well enough to the point where the fan base still is believing in you as a manager, but also the football club. So for me, where I look at it now, it's like I think the only reason why we even wanna try to get a deal done with Chelsea is because of this was before the PSA thing or whatever you want to call it. But now that Chelsea don't have to force to sell him anymore, Chelsea can the whole window go like we want 50 million or he's not going this summer.
I see it going very long into the summer with this.
Yeah, and the issue is we don't
deadline day thing if he doesn't.
But I think this is the issue though. We don't have the time to because we need guys in.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to sell Højbjerg. It was reported that Skip actually might leave if he gets suitors. So there's two guys, and we already have a big issue with the English players. Did I say already before? It's just that maybe time to just promote some of the youngsters, yeah. But it seems the manager's still really not liking the youngsters. Maybe also and Mike more, maybe. But yeah, I don't hate the player. I think he would be a good squad player for us. He would help us with our English quota. But for 50 million, it's just way too much. And I feel like if you go and spend the 50 million on Conor Gallagher, you might as well spend the 50 million on the position that we actually need in the starting position, which is the number 6.
You want to kick on?
A left winger. Is that like a left winger, a number 6, maybe even a right winger, like somebody that can come in and start, and we can all look at it and say, oh, yeah,
we need a striker.
This guy, a striker too. And that's what I mean. Like, so for me, it would be just because Jacob made the point. Yes, I think Conor Gallagher
would. In terms of also. Just I don't know, Jez, if you knew this or Flawless, but apparently Spurs it came out today that Tottenham are preparing a £40 million bet for Ivan Toney. Bid.
Really?
I don't know why I said that. I really didn't read that.
Yeah, you don't know why. I think that,
Sorry. What do you say? My connection just went off again.
He said Ivan Toney. He said Spurs have been linked.
I saw that.
I've got the link. This is all what my show was going to be about today. Was the Ivan Toney link?
Hey, I saw to help us out with Spurs.
I saw that earlier as well. Like, I mean, ironically, he would fit what we need in terms of we need a striker, and
why is his son done, Jez? His son finished.
By the way, I
think his future's back at left wing. He's not finished, by the way. He did just score 2 goals for his international club as well.
Because that's the thing is, don't get me wrong. I think Ivan Toney to Spurs is a great move for Ivan Toney, and I think it's a great move for Spurs. But I was just thinking about Son, like, because he seems to have played better centrally. But obviously, maybe rotation. I don't know. You let us know.
Well, I think it got skewed from a view of 5,000 feet, where the whole Son at the 9 thing. And I got carried away with it because I looked at my squad and I said, is he a better number 9 than Richarlison? Yes. Is he a better number 9 than anyone else in the roster? Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So naturally that would look to be the best option for that. But if we got a legitimate number 9, then Son goes back to the left wing. And honestly, Ivan Toney for me is a player that I've watched for years the championship when we had Harry Kane, before we signed Richarlison. Jez will know this. A lot of Spurs fans are, well, we don't have a backup for Harry Kane. We don't have an eventual successor. I'm
going to restart my PC.
Because,
okay. Go on, carry on.
We didn't have a backup for Kane, and he was having problems with his ankles. And then we I think it was his contract. There was something going on with his contract before he was linked with City, before they got Holland. There was something else going on with his contract, and so there was always this fear that he's going to leave for a bigger club. And I don't think that's too crazy to think when you have the level of a player like Harry Kane, who wants to surround himself with a club that wants to win. And this is not a club that necessarily shown over time that it is serious about winning. So I've always watched a championship, and I liked Ollie Watkins at one point. I thought if he could take a step up, that he would look a lot better, and he's now finally taken a step up 4 years after me asking him to. Ivan Toney, I was watching him that year that Brentford came up. Not every single match. Don't get me wrong. I do have a life, but when I looked at strikers, that was primarily what I looked at. And Patrick Bamford was also on my list. It was Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, and Patrick Bamford. I was like, these are the most like for like Harry Kane type strikers, number 9s that if he goes out, you could just put him in and he would do a similar role, as in hold up play, distribution of the ball, ability to find that pass, and also that can just turn and strike the ball. And that's something that also Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord possesses, the ability to just receive the ball at the top of the box, turn and shoot, and there be a bunch of power generated from that little movement. That's what we've been looking and lacking. Richarlison, anytime he's received the ball in dangerous areas, it's just the wimpiest shot I've ever seen. Son, 50-50. If he can generate, the way he generates the power and curl on those shots that he takes is he's running with the ball. He puts it onto his foot and then takes it. It's not on the half turn. So for me, I think that Ivan Toney has always been my favorite out of the 3 that I mentioned for a Kane replacement, a Kane backup. And then whenever Kane left, I said I wanted Ivan Toney. He was $100 million last summer. They're talking about 100 million.
Yeah,
Brentford wasn't entertaining anything under 100 mil. And now it's 40 million bid that we're preparing. I'd take Ivan Toney for 40 million every single day.
I think 40 M's is very smart because you got 1 year left on his deal as well. So 40
look at Ivan Toney again. I don't need Ivan Toney to be perfect. So like I've heard it all before. Oh, he blanked the last 12 games of the season, something like that. That's fine. I understand, bro. It's Brentford. You've already said fuck Brentford. You've already done an interview saying I can't wait to leave and get my big move. You know what I'm saying? So of course I'm not surprised by that. You know what I mean? That's like a girl, you already admitted, hey, we're breaking up, but we're just riding this out till the lease ends. And then she's like, why don't you show affection? We ain't together. We're just together till the lease ends. So to me, Ivan Toney would come in and do a lot of the things that Harry Kane did well, that made Son such a prolific winger. Because look at Johan Vissa, look at Ryan Mbeumo.
Yeah.
These are 2 wingers that he's helped elevate their game as well by his distribution, hold up play, and overall threat through the middle. So if you present those things again for Heung-min Son on the left, I have no doubt in my mind that we'll continue to see the best of Son. So to answer you had a question amongst this that, is Son done? No, he did have a brace yesterday, 2 days ago for Korea.
Yeah,
so
like
shout
he's
him
doing
out.
as a striker because Jez had mentioned it a lot last season about.
I'm even wearing the shirt coincidentally.
He preferred to see this guy. He preferred to see Son centrally. So like that's it.
I did.
Nah, you see,
I did.
You see,
he's better than Richarlison, but
yeah, I think there's 100%. Like, I don't care what anybody tells me about Son. The fact that he's not even a natural striker, and he's actually outperformed the striker by itself is hilarious. But I said my opinions about Son in terms of the obviously the club is talking. I literally had a bust up literally in a group chat. I think 2 weeks ago when the season ended, where people said we shouldn't give him a new contract because they look we should look at the opportunity to sell him. My response to this is that look at the attacking option that we currently have at the football club. I would understand if you had a Lisa out there on one side, and on the other side you had a Liao on the other side, and then you just have to fix the striker situation. Then with the backups, you go from there. But we're already very limited with the attacking talent already in the team. I already mentioned how for me, I don't really have necessarily the biggest issue with Timo Werner coming back on loan. My biggest issue is then what else do we bring in with him then? Are we gonna get rid of guys like Brian Gill and Solomon? Are these guys gonna go? And these are all the questions. Richarlison said he doesn't want to leave England. Mate, then go to Everton then. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, these are the type of things I'm talking about, where I say we have so many question marks already in the team, where I look at it and say, it wouldn't make sense for me to sell Son. I had strong opinions about Son already a couple of seasons ago, and I said I think we should put into I don't think he's done, but I think we should put into consideration that the guy's getting older and older. I think ironically, I think he became I don't, unless Jacob maybe knows better than me, I think he became a year younger actually because of the Korean citizenship rule change.
He
So
did
he's
get
actually-
it, like went him
yeah,
back a
so-
year. Yeah,
Oh, he
Yeah,
became
so
a-
yeah,
that's-
he got a year younger. So in
hey, that's a
technicality,
glow up right there.
yeah, but you get the point. So in the technicalities, then, so what he is 31 now. He's gonna turn 32 in July. So technically 33 then, actually.
Mm.
So when you deep it, he's getting on with age. And I'm not saying no. I'm not saying go and sell him. He's getting old. No, I wouldn't mind even giving him like a year with an option to extend, type of contract. What I would do is that we should be preparing for the situation when, if in case Son does get to a point where he drops off massively, that it's not a situation where like, okay, then we know we have to start going back to relying to Johnson and Werner and Brian Gills or whoever comes in. So I think there needs to be a plan. That's why I say Werner back on loan. Not necessarily the most. Do I like it? Absolutely not. But if you can tell me you're actually gonna go there and do the right things and actually get us then attacking because the fact that the irony from last season is we scored more goals than last season, and
Yeah,
Kane had
so,
30.
yeah.
Kane had 30. But how on a consistent basis can this team score? And you see, I mean, Ange has aspirations to want to compete for the title. You see how many goals they score. So we need to score more goals, and we just need quality. I feel like this is where I feel like if you really want to start them winning trophies, even if it's the second tier trophies or the third tier trophies, the individual brilliance at one point needs to come through. This is where I'm agreement with Jacob is that Toney, yes, he's been planking for like the last couple of months of the season, but he still has the quality to just come out and show. And I feel like in a team that plays just much more progressive than a Brentford, and even Brentford, they were in the relegation battle quite at the end of the season as well, compared to us who are actually going to be in Europe. So if it's 40 million, I wouldn't mind it. And this is
Well,
why
I
I said
think
go.
40 million for him is a steal. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. That is
And for me,
a
and it goes back to what I meant with the Gallagher thing, where it's like, if you can go on half it and somehow convince Chelsea to sell him for 25, I would be all up for it. I already said I wouldn't mind even taking
I'll take
Chalobah
Gallagher
for
for
25.
30. I'll go up to 40. That's how much we spent on
I think-
Højbjerg,
I think-
near around 40.
No, we didn't spend 40 for Højbjerg. We spent 15.
Are we paying what, hair gel tax or ponytail tax?
Okay.
Let me get to these
Okay,
super chats
okay.
anyway. Big up to let me get to these super chats.
Great channel.
Big up. This is Jean. I call you Jean. Big up to you. He says, I will miss
Bjorn.
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 Yeah.
Big up to you. He says, I
Bjorn.
miss Jack Grealish in Euro 2024, but then he put a laughing emoji. Grealish should have performed better. I actually think Southgate got it right in not taking Grealish.
Hey, but
And I
Dubai's
rate
going to
him.
be getting richer. Just think about it that way.
I mean, Jacob. He said that what's it called? He doesn't want to leave England.
Big up to Amino, who says flawless Halle Berry, or I have no idea who the second woman is.
The model.
Salah Hadid.
Yeah.
Is our model.
My
Never heard
my
of her.
simple
Kind of
answer.
model.
My simple
She's actually
answer
a
for
good
this
person.
is a very surprising one. Whoever's good in goal and pro clubs, they can spend the night. It's all good. That's all it is.
Or is it left-sided center back? You still looking
We
for
Yeah,
got
one?
left-sided centre back. We good now. I play well. Actually,
No, we're good
I
now,
think
yeah.
I can play midfield.
Right-sided
so, yeah,
center back.
Yeah,
Yeah, if it's a left-sided
left-sided centre back.
Yeah, because then I can play midfield instead.
Or
But,
if they can run a mission on GTA, they're fine to join as well.
yeah, that is fact. That is fact. So yeah, I mean, more random super chat, but big up. And no, I can't answer because I have no idea who the second one is. The second
correct
one.
answer. Both.
Halle Berry die another day. Just that scene, just like right there. We'll just answer your question.
It is, but yeah,
Out of the ocean.
That's you, Jacob. You mentioned it earlier in the stream. Obviously, Jez has mentioned it on a couple of occasions, but we don't know your full thoughts on it. Obviously, I haven't seen you mention it on your own channel. Timo Werner on loan. Talk to us. Thoughts?
Yeah. You have to set us up because you know.
Do you want the
because you know how he
elevator
feels.
pitch or do you want the
Nah, I
lobby
want the
pitch?
Jacob. I want the United Spurs of America Jacob pitch. Like I want you to. I want you to respond and talk about Timo Werner the same way you would if you was on United Spurs of America right now. That's why you're here.
I would say.
Oh, you go. No, John. I've not heard of Bella. No, go on.
In regards to Timo Werner, the first couple things that I look at are the positives. That's just how I am in life. Like, okay, you get presented with a plate
I know where it's
and you
going.
open it up and it's a steamy hot pile of shit. And you say, okay, hang on. Now, is the smell profuse? No, there's no smell. Okay, we're good, no smell. But it looked like it. And it's just, okay, but we didn't buy him technically, so it's not as bad as a Brian Hill, Giovanni Lo Celso, Tongi and Dombele, Joe Rodin. Should I keep going? I can keep going.
Quick, can I ask you quick before you continue? Because the fact that they actually didn't buy him and they'll get him back on the loan, my theory is people at the club are not convinced that they want to buy him, but Ant wants him at the football club. Do you think it could be the case?
I think it's the opposite. I think it's the club want him. The club know that we need, like when Johan Lange and Scotland, they answer to the same motherfucker that Ainge does, which is Levy and the board. So I think these people present the player, and Ainge is just there and says, I'm cool with it or I'm not cool with it. And they said, all right, Timo Werner's thing, like, you want him. Well, no. Okay, well, we need a left winger. Okay. We do know that we need forwards. He's acknowledged we need forwards. Every report that's come out has been, we are going to do a lot of business and a lot of business early is what allegedly is supposed to happen. That don't sound like Tottenham. What sound like Tottenham is us haggling for Conor Gallagher, Timo Werner, and maybe Ivan Toney for 3 months until the damn season kicks off, and then we get them on a discounted deal or someone swoop in. Like, if we don't act on the Abrici Eze, I know I'm going off the point a second for here, but if we don't go after Abrici Eze, he's going to get scooped up, and it's going to be an example of us dragging our feet trying to save $7.5 million when really just pay the fucking clause and move on with it. That's Eze. But back to Timo Werner, the positives are he's only extended his stay for 12 months, not 2 years, not 3 years, where we eventually have to figure out, okay, now we've got more deadwood. Yes, he's deadwood, but it's like it's not a part of the giant big log of deadwood that we have. So it's not as bad, I would also say
carry on. I get what you meant.
We initially did the whole deal with Timo.
You know what he was going.
We initially did the deal with Timo because Son was off to Asia games. Brian Hill is a literal stick figure of a footballer.
I don't know.
You just doodle a stick figure, and they give him a swooshy haircut, and there you go, is Brian Hill. He does this what I call treadmill running. He's on the pitch, he has the ball, and he's just running on a treadmill, but not really going anywhere. And so it's just, I don't like that in a winger. At least Timo Werner, when he gets the ball, he runs, and the ball goes this way. He may go this way, but there's a bit of burst to it. So, like, off the bench versus a tired line, if we've hopefully been attacking them all match, like, may not be a bad option. But again, if you're bringing Timo Werner in to get you a goal, he's not going to do that. If you're getting Timo Werner in to save you when you need pace, to threaten the back line, which is what I just mentioned was a positive, he's not going to thread the needle and get that. He may be at the back post for a tap-in. That's as much as you can hope for in the final third. But in getting into the final third, he can help you get there in a little bit of a hurry. So that's another positive. But overall, another positive that's been thrown at me, not that I necessarily like to use, but someone said, he had 29 GA in his first season at Chelsea. I don't like to boast other people's accomplishments at other venues. I like to boast about what happens at mine or what he could do for me. So that's a weird flex, but
in that first season, he cleared off the line that the goal we were attacking. He actually cleared it off.
Bro, the comps are crazy. The comps are crazy.
The comps are mad. Honestly, they are mad. Listen, I will say this: if you guys can tell him that he's playing Southampton every week, you have a great player. Because he hated Southampton for some reason. He always scored against them and played well. If you tell him that, sweet, nice and cold.
I will also say this: like, he's going to take an international spot, which is shitty. I'd rather go get Leroy Sané if we're going to get a German to take up a roster spot. He's going to be making more money than I was going through the list, and if I can remember right, at 165,000 a week, he's going to be making more than Mickey Van de Veen, Destiny Udogie, Yves Bissouma, Rodrigo Bentancur, James Maddison. He's going to be making more money than all these folks. So to me,
what's the split? Has that come out? Like in regards to
I think we paying the majority. That's why even the whole deal itself.
Well, last year we paid 100%. Last year, when we loaned him, the numbers came out. We paid 100% of his wages.
Yeah.
And it was structured that way with the release clause of 17.5 or 17.8 if we wanted to pick him up. And we restructured a loan agreement. So it was a different loan agreement. And now the clause at the end of the 12 months is like 8.5 million. So we've reduced the release clause pickup option to half of what it was. So my theory is, and my hope is that we're not paying 100% of that, because that would be a criminal offense. If I'm Mickey Van de Ven, I'd be like, this motherfucker's sitting on. We brought him in to sit on the bench. If that's best case scenario is for him to sit on the bench.
I think my argument with that is that because it is still the Leipzig contract. So yes, we do pay majority of that still? Yeah, but obviously this would be the worst case scenario where you actually go and pick up the buy option, which I would hate.
Imagine we pick him up at the end.
But then
he get 25 GA. I'll pick it up.
Of course. If he goes crazy for the whole season, it helps
25 GA.
If you have to win us a trophy or a double or some shit all of this, I'm like, bro, I sing all the Timo Werner songs, but
I do have a bet.
My point was more so the fact if you were to pick the option up, then obviously he gets a new contract and he would be on way less money because. Unless the guy doesn't want to take them the money, then you can go back to Leipzig then. Because, the fact that Son is our second highest payer at 190, I think. Like, Ndombele is the most highest paid player.
Ndombele makes the most money at our club, if y'all didn't know that.
Exactly. So, this is what I'm trying to say.
10.4 million a year is his rate.
I struggled for him, if he were to get officially signed, to be on more money than all these guys. And I think even some of those guys, they would even get a pay rise eventually themselves. So, but like you said,
you know how many times Son has restructured his contract payment since he's been here?
It's crazy. Like
5 times.
The club is making sure that they don't get like you see Arsenal. They give him a cover straight away, like 250, whatever. 300K, whatever.
Bro's restructured his contract 5 times and still can't make more than Tongi and Ndombele. Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, I hear some of the fees, like what y'all are paying Mount, what Arsenal are paying Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus is astronomical fees, more than we pay even Tongi and Ndombele. Like, how is Son on such a low wage? Is crazy.
But I don't. Levy's always credited with being some type of good businessman, right? Off the pitch, obviously. Something like that. How the hell did he get finessed? They call it
a tightwad.
Yeah, how the hell did he get finessed to pay Ndombele 200 grand a week?
Bro, we really thought he was the next Dembele. He saw Dembele at the end of his last name. I was like, is that Musa?
People forget. Ndombele was chased by literally everybody. He was chased by Bayern, Man City, I think Man United wanted him.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the guy.
He was. So just for him to even choose Tottenham, we even have to just go.
They offered him less money.
Jacob, what's the bet? What's the bet you made? You said you had a bet. Is it to do with Timo Werner? I'm guessing.
Yeah. So 25 GA, and I got to get a Timo Werner jersey, a shirt.
So
with
Timo 25 GA day across all competitions.
And if we win the league with Timo Werner in our team, I've got to get Timo tattooed on my bare naked arm right here.
Yeah, that's
so I said, bro, if we win the league, I remember I'll just get kind of hyped up in a show talking shit, to the chat, and they're talking shit to me. And they're like, well, what if Timo gets 25 GA? I was like, Timo get 25 GA, bro. I'll get a damn Timo Werner shirt, and I will say pick up his buy option, And then they're like, well, what if we win the league with Timo Werner on our side? And I'm like, if we win the league with Timo Werner on our side, this is how sure I am it's not going to happen. I will get TIMOOOOOO for as many O's as I can fit in my fucking elbow.
Do that, but then I'll put the Premier League trophy next to it.
Yeah, I would have to do something to fancy it up because it can't just be Timo.
You're so sure he's not going to do it. You should have said, I'll even change my newborn's first name to Timo.
That would be
this is why my wife, she contacts all the official places to register stuff. She does all that. She don't let me touch it because I remember she's delusional in the hospital on drugs. They're like, hey, sign her name or whatever, and I'm like, I'll do it. She's like, I don't trust you. I'm like, You just gave birth, and you're on all these different medications, but you'd rather I won't spell it wrong. You will. Okay. All right. Okay.
This is crazy. But go to you because you've actually had before you go, Jets. Werner's been at your football club. So how do you see him doing at Spurs? You think he'll be successful? Is it bad? Do you see him as a squad player? You think he can be of use? Well, because he is someone I know has frustrated you playing in the Chelsea shirt.
I mean, very frustrating. I mean, I joked when they first signed him in January that you're going to hang on to him in the summer, but I thought they were going to sign him.
Timo,
I mean,
it was fun.
And I don't know what it is. I know he runs and that's it and causes chaos a little bit and something like that. I think it really it makes sense if you do buy a Toney and then you can shift Son onto the left and Werner's basically a bench option.
Yeah,
that's what makes sense. However, if you don't do that,
that is terrible.
There's another aspect though. I want to also throw out there before you really start going. We've gotten rid of Perisic. Maynard Solomon, I'm pretty sure is I'm not going to say he's going to do, because I wouldn't say it on my channel. I'm not going to say it here, but Maynard Solomon probably won't be here next year. Brian Hill, he's been dreaming of Sevilla since we bought him from Sevilla and loaned him back to Sevilla and paid Sevilla and gave Sevilla Eric Lamela, and then they gave us him back after he won a trophy with them, and then we loaned him to somebody else, and then we loaned him somewhere else, but he's still dreaming of Sevilla, so he's gone. That's 3 left wingers gone. We need a body, so a 12-month non-committal, I'm okay with that a little bit. There's context to be applied that make it less of a punch in the gut, but it is a punch nonetheless when you've been like, hey, go get Kvaratskhelia. That'll show the world we're serious. Go get Rafa. Go pay 170 release clause on Rafa Leao. Fuck up. Turn the Premier League on its head,
Which wouldn't obviously happen, but this is where even when the thing you have to show already with the team where I gave my thoughts before, obviously in case people don't know in the chat, obviously make sure you if you're new, first and foremost, and subscribe as well, just to make sure. But for the people that don't know, this is what I said in the first time, that do I hate the fact that he's back? Yes. But I agree with Jacob with the fact is that we have guys that can't even run. The fact that Werner can run is already an upgrade. This is whole bad these guys.
Is that how down bad you are? Where it's like, right?
Kulusevski can't even run, bro. He can hold the ball up and turn with it, but he can't run.
See, just the fact alone that people can say what they want to say about Johnson. I don't necessarily rate Johnson highly as far as himself, but the fact that he can run, gotten 10 Premier League assists this season, and 5
he's
goals,
not even. The system makes it so easy. You're right, but he's not even that fast. I thought he was faster. Jez, were you unimpressed? I was sold that he was this fucking Bunsen burner out there. Just give him the ball, watch him go. Adama Traore moved better than this guy. Adama Traore could stand at the back post and tap it in. He was free, not 55 mil.
But see, this is what's my point that I'm saying is that yes, I hate this. I hate the fact that he's back, but the fact that this is how pathetic some of these other guys are. This is how pathetic some of the other guys are. That's why I'm saying, I agree 100%. The context needs to come into consideration where I say, I need to see how this window ends. If you go and get me a left winger and another winger for the right side even, and then Werner comes in as a body for the bench, that's perfect. Or you get a striker and a winger, that's perfect.
But
if you're not gonna do that, then I'm like, okay, how are we really gonna progress? I can't go sit here and say we can charge for top 4. It's the same attack.
Yeah, does Werner, does Gallagher? That's a great point. Do they help us catch up to the speed at which Man City are running? The speed at which Arsenal have accelerated themselves to? The speed at which Liverpool will accelerate themselves? Werner and Gallagher moves don't do that for me.
And that's why, in my opinion, that's what I said with the Gallagher thing is, as much as I don't even have an issue with the play itself, my issue is that you want to splash all that money when you know you can actually use 50 million in a position that we actually need in the starting position. Well, we have arguments. Is he even better than Sal? And Sal's a starting member of the team. So we talk about
I know that big ass question mark. Yeah.
So we talk about the potential 50 million signing coming in, but we don't even know if he's going to start. And this is where I go back to and say,
the same thing with Brennan Johnson, 55, and I didn't know that he started.
But he helped us get past the season. That's why for me, Yeah, you can say that, but he's a big reason why we even finished fifth. And this is crazy. This is crazy.
But I'm very convinced. But I want to tail off that point you just said, Jez, because the reason why, yes, his GA, you take his GA out and like we're not, but I am so convinced. You know, I said the opposite with Harry Kane. Like you can't just take Harry Kane out and assume someone can do all the things that he could do and put him back. And it wasn't Richarlison, but with Brendan Johnson. It's the same thing with Timo Werner. You can just put someone else. The system makes it so easy for those wingers to get the GA if he had even an inkling amount of more quality to himself, he would have 1.5 what he had now. And I don't even know what GA he ended up on, but it was a decent amount. It was enough to make people say, "Hey, there's something here." But again, it's just the system works that to his feet, in my opinion.
And the ironic part about it is because you talk about the quality. If he was a better finisher, because he missed some sitters this season as well. He should have finished the season with double figures in both goals and assists.
Yeah,
both of them. So this is why I say This is why I say we can talk about Johnson 50 million crazy, and I agree with that. But there's more glaring issues in the team, which is the number 6 role. We don't have a backup.
But if we got Mohamed Kudus for that 55, he went less to West Ham.
And I wanted Kudus over Johnson, but now obviously we can't.
I wanted Kudus. I wanted Diaby. They both went for at the same price or less.
I want the same price, yeah. But I think I'm looking now what's with the now on what we have already spent. So I'm not necessarily looking back at the things. So it's like, because obviously I agree with you. I wanted these guys over him as well. So it's not. I wanted these guys even before, they were even at those price tags as well, and they were much cheaper. But my point is more the fact is, okay, we already made these boards and they have impacted us, and we could have maybe bought better with that money. My point is more of the fact is now that what do we do now from here though? Do we actually gonna go and get guys that we need? We need to make sure that we get backups with both Udogie and Poro. Them two getting injured, we are back to square one with. Obviously, Emerson's getting sold, but we don't. But who's going to be the replacement? Udogie injured. We either have to put Van de Ven at left back or Ben Davies at left back.
Bro, Van de Ven at left back. He got a goal and I think he got an assist and a goal as a left back. The two times he got moved out there.
Yeah, but then you have the issue. Then you don't have an actual left-footed centre back as a backup to him. So what do you do about that? So, like I said, for me, there's so many question marks for me this summer where I say I have to wait. Yes, we can start off the window terribly, and I will obviously not be happy with it. But how do we end the window? This is the one that I look at.
Well, the thing about this every transfer window, especially Spurs one, is. I think the transfer window closes August 30th, I believe. I think they put it in line with other transfer windows. So the morning of August 31st, if Timo Werner stands out as one of your big signings, even on loan, then Angie's got a real problem next season. Because I don't know what he can do. Because they can sign whatever you think about them. I think over the transfers of a Gallagher and a Werner, if they're the top 2 transfers for Spurs, what do they actually do to move them up from, let's say, just up to 4? Not even like, I'm not even going to put like a challenge or something because I don't think that's right.
Yeah. But just being
does it take them up to 4th? And I would say I don't think it does.
But let me phrase it this way. If we did get, like, these are just links that are coming out, right? This is just what we're hearing about. And there's always the deals that we're not hearing about. But we've already heard of Toney. We've already heard of Eze. We've already heard of Gallagher. We've already heard of
Vanderson. Actually, one came out because obviously Emerson's probably going to leave. We get linked to Vanderson, who's actually much closer for a profile of what Poro is. As a backup right back, so
I don't want a Poro. I don't want another Poro.
I mean, like I said,
bro, he got turned around by Garnacho.
he wasn't getting down by Garnacho, like
bro. He was getting done up by anybody on the left. He made Martinelli look like he was a good winger. Pedro Porro defensively, he's sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. He pisses me off. How are you going to take 60, 70 shots and not hit the target?
No, compared to the first 6 months. This is where you was getting.
Vicario can put a shot on target before Pedro Porro.
I personally disagree in terms of how the first 6 months he was terrible defensively, but I don't think this season. I don't think he's been that terribly defensively as some make it out to be, in my opinion. And I mean, even then, the whole point is we're looking at
Bro, I've
options.
seen
I've been
when
because
I'm
I've seen us get linked because
teams, every
he's not,
team on the left side had a lot of joy. Whether they wanted to work it on the left or they wanted to work it on the right, it was really their pick.
You can make the argument literally across the whole back four because of how much space we just give in general. To be honest, like. Even on the side
I do sympathize with Porro because he's up there playing second striker at times or right winger. This is where I say this is when the manager needs to start looking at, okay, what can I change tactically next season? Because we can get better players, but if he plays the same tactics like he played, we're still going to concede better chances. But I don't blame Pedro Porro for the goals where he concedes when we get beat out of possession, where we make a mistake and it's there on the counter. I don't blame him for those. I blame him for the ones where it's their team that has worked the goal. Where they've worked it down the left-hand side and danced around Pedro Porro and it's serviced into the box. There's a lot more times where Destiny Udogie prevents the cross before it happens, whereas Pedro Porro will allow the cross. He provides space trying to compensate for his inability to, not inability, but deficiencies in defending, shall I say.
But I think this is what I mean. This is what I think. It's going to be very important how we're going to recruit in the summer in terms of the profiles and tactically maybe want to shape up, because he's not the only. There's only a report that actually just recently we was yesterday linked to get Fertuda, who's actually more of kind of like a third centre back kind of, them 3 centre backs at the back kind of things, where one plays at right back from Feyenoord.
Yeah, we were linked with Chalobah as well. It's funny.
Chalobah. Also, we got linked with Ito from Stuttgart as well, who's centre back but can actually play left back as well. And then that probably put Dragusin back on the. Maybe then Dragusin becomes that backup Pedro Porro. Yeah, that's what I mean. So there's a lot of The point is we getting linked to. Obviously, we are obviously looking at the team of wellness and the Gallagher right now.
So why not?
But yeah, he's a good player. I want him actually. He's a good player by the way. But yeah, but like I said, my point is that, like I said, it's a bunch of links. But we haven't even put a bid in. We don't even know. We don't even know what's going on.
Let's round the circle. Back to Toney. The drop off of interest in Toney is mad. You know what I mean? The drop off. And I think
Toney and Ezzy.
Hang on. I think whoever gets him, if it is 40 or 50 million, that could be the sneaky signing of the window. Because I think people could go, yeah, we used to treat Brentford. He doesn't want to pay. He doesn't want to pay for Brentford. Someone put in the chat he's not even a good finisher, and he doesn't. This
recency bias, bro. Recency bias, bro.
He's a top quality. Listen, you get him. If he gets his sights back on whatever team he goes to, knowing it's better than Brentford, it will be a better team than Brentford. Let's just face it, right? He's going to play. Could play a major part. I mean, the Spurs get him. Let's do a window like this. Spurs do what?
Can I present it to you?
Toney, Gallagher. That's pretty good. For me. That's
Eze and Toney. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Eze, Toney, and Gallagher, and maybe another.
Don't stop there.
A couple of fullbacks, whoever you want to put in there, something like that.
We need a 6.
I think the more important thing is actually. You know what? I know people are going to think I'm mad. I think more work needs to be done for the squad. Below the first team, who's coming in case you get injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not even that. Basuma can't just have an automatic starting position. We saw what that looked like last year. Sarr can't either. Maddison can't either. As he takes care of one of those problems, Gallagher takes care of the other problem. I need another one. Or are we hoping that Jez is at Jamie Dodley or something from the academy?
I think this is where the manager also has to start looking at the academy. I think considering how many games we're going to play now compared to last season, he will eventually get forced to having to use it to them, in my opinion. And I think this is what I say. The fact that we even finished 5th this season, like I said, some people say Spurs should have gotten Champions League, which is true to the degree. Like, we should have beaten Wolves at home and we get Champions League, which is the irony. But when you actually then go through the team again, a lot of you people don't even rate the team like that. So necessarily, we're not even that great of the team. But this is where I give so much praise to the manager. Now I'm looking at the manager and the football club and say, okay, well, what can we do to the team to at least make sure, okay, we don't get Champions League, but we're still going to be at least 5th, 6th in the area. We don't chop off so massively where we again out of Europe. Like some sort of consistency again where we at least can not only compete in the cup competition, but also compete in the Europa League. Like I was ready. I don't care if we qualify for next season for the Champions League. Can we go and compete for some trophies? Like I'm seeing Romero has like what 2-3 years from this contract. These guys are probably thinking about, yo, I want to start winning trophies or I want to leave the football club. This should be a thing that should be considered. And I talked about it in a group chat that I'm in the other day that, yes, I know our fans love Romero and I love Romero too. But the guy can quickly come out here and say, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore because I want to start winning trophies. So I'm cool not getting Champions League football if you tell me we competing for FA Cups, the Carabao Cups, the Europa Leagues. And then we stay consistently around the 5th, 6th, and then we're still trying to improve, which is possible for the club. Like I said, we spend enough to at least be competing in the Europa League. Do I think we spend enough to compete in the Champions League or the league? No. And even the signs that we do don't help us compete for the league. But the signs can definitely get us to. I mean, Jose had a much worse squad. Obviously, lack of Joe also depends, but he got us to a final. We have to consider that, and the team was way worse. If you can, the fact that we can sit here and say that we had a way worse squad than this one, and we don't rate this squad, just shows you how bad in the trenches we were already. That's what I'm saying. Improvements can always happen, but that's what I say. I think because everybody's looking at Palace making signings, Chelsea making signings, and Chelsea's getting linked to literally everybody, every single day, and it seems like it's getting close and close and close. So I think people are getting a bit nervous. They don't know what's going to happen. But for me, I have to wait till the end of the window to truly say how I can rate our next season. Like at the moment, I'm really I'm more chilled at the moment, I would say.
Because it's still early, and Silver made a great point with Ivan Toney, and in regards to being at 40 million, that's a steal. Because even if it goes wrong, you just write it off and go, all right, it's 40 million. It's not like Maddison. Yeah, like if you get into if it's 80, 90 million, you're like, oh, that's a big like.
That was it last summer.
That's what I'm saying. But 40 M's for a player of his
we spent 30 M's on Ryan Sessegnon. So.
Exactly. To me, I don't know. I don't think you're getting a player of his quality for that price.
The price tag,
that's what I would say.
Agree.
40
M's. That's what I say.
And we've seen, and it's Premier League proven too.
Yeah, and he played up by himself, playing front in the 2. I think he's quality going.
Did you see some of our fan base? They say, but his attitude and that, like, shit. We need some bad boys in the attack. We need some
attitude. But Harry Kane did the same shit.
Yeah,
what's wrong? What's wrong with his attitude? What have I heard? What is his attitude been?
But this one talking about
Jacob. There's no attitude problem.
Was it because the girl in a bikini said, "Say fuck Brentford"? Bro, I'd say fuck Brentford if I was at Brentford. Who wants to stay at Brentford? That shows that he has ambition. You know what I mean? He ain't Neil Maupay out here. Neil Maupay said, "Yay to Brentford." Toney says I should be playing somewhere bigger. Real Madrid, I think he even name dropped them. He would be down to go to Real Madrid. That's what I want my players to want to do. You should be saying I should play for Real Madrid because I'm that guy instead of Neil Maupay. Thank you, Brentford. I appreciate the opportunity to shine at the Brentford Bumblebee Stadium where we all go buzz buzz and fucking sing Hey Jude.
Respect the
community center.
Respect it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Just to clarify. And
fuck Neil Maupay every single day of the week.
I've had this discussion many a time on here. It's Toney. There's no behavior you can point to and say, oh, he has attitude problems. Like you can point to incidents and say,
bro,
I saw Kane made the right move there, but he didn't do it. We watched Kane suck for half a season.
That's what I was gonna say. I saw Kane get Nuno fucking sacked because he was just walking around out there. That's what I saw. But no attitude problem. That's England's number one. You know,
Harry Kane. It was what I'm saying. Back then, it was. He deserved to move Spurs. Spurs are big heads to let him go.
Wait, before you go, John. What is the so let's go into this. What is the attitude problem with Toney? Point to the incidents. What's the attitude problem? Attitude problems means like that's a consistent with him. So we can't point to one. Same way we look at a player and go, before you man go, we call a player a good player because he plays well over a long period of time. We'll call a player a bad player if he plays badly over a bad period of time, etc. So what are we talking about then?
I just say this. At least he had the decency to play for the club for a couple of years. We're doing an interview. I'm like Lukaku did within like 4 months.
You still might get him
bro,
back.
bro. And for me, it's that people. I talk about this Kane motherfucker all the time, but the way he got away with the golf interview is crazy. Any other player is getting crucified for that, and just because he's at Little Tottenham and he's not winning trophies, and Harry Kane nobody deserves trophies. He went to Bayern Munich and the first season to go trophyless in over a decade.
But they gave him a cannon for his trouble.
Stand corrected, John. Fairs, that's what I thought you said. I read it wrong. My bad, John. I apologize.
No, bro. And literally yesterday,
Like I don't think Kane has an attitude problem. I don't think Toney has an attitude problem.
Exactly.
I think people love to perceive actions of others and say, "Well, I would have done it this way." Well, I don't give a damn. I like to if he played for Tottenham and he was like, "Fuck Tottenham," it would definitely be a completely different stance. But a guy saying and simping for a chick, that's just him simping in the summer. But if during the season you give an interview and you're saying your aspirations,
here's the point.
Hey, sometimes you gotta simp in the summer. It's hot out. You're trying to get some ice cream with the baby. You know what I mean? I understand. I've been there. We all do it. Hey. Draft season hit different for some, but I'm saying Kane has as much of an attitude problem as Ivan Toney. The only thing Ivan Toney has that Kane doesn't is a betting problem, and Kane got kids. If you have kids, you can't do a whole bunch of betting, and I know that for a fact because I have kids and my wife won't let me bet. I tried, and actually, anytime you
and also one can actually speak English better than the other one, but that's for another day. But my point as well is
speech shame.
Yes, me too. Ironically, because I can't speak English, but yesterday, when you said I said Todibo has a discipline issue in terms of being too aggressive, you said you like that.
Yeah.
Bro, I need a motherfucker that actually goes and like Richarlison is the fake tough type of guy. He's the fake tough because it's like yes, he's gonna be tough out there, but he can't do shit.
And that's one of the things we praise him for. He's so tough out there, guys.
I need a tough guy, but guy that can actually do so. I need a guy that can actually do something.
I need more than that. Romero. We need more Cuti Romeros. That's what we need. Guys go out there. And James Maddison is not even that guy. James Maddison gets contact. What does he do? He reminds me of Bruno. And that shit annoys me, bro. That's so annoying.
Bro, one contact and he goes to the floor like, the referee.
And then he looks at the ref. Get your I remember I flopped and asked for a call one time, and my coach grabbed me by the shirt and said, "If you ever fucking do that again, you'll never see the pitch the rest of the season. Get your ass up and go play the damn game."
There you go.
This isn't theater. He knew I was in theater as well, and he said, "This isn't theater, Jacob. Get out there and play."
This is the one thing. This is probably the one thing that I hate about Maddison the most is the way the dude just starts crying when things don't go his way. It's so bad, and it's
a weenie whiner, bro. That's what I call a player like that. Weenie whiner.
And the issue with that as well is, okay, cool, you whine, but the fact that his whining affects his overall play as well. So he will start.
Yeah, that's why it becomes an issue when that type of thing happens. Like 100.
Because then he'll go give a reckless foul on the other end because he got pushed over and thought that should have been a foul. So he'll go commit an actual foul as well. Just bro, two rights don't make a wrong. It's just. I don't like that personally, and that's why I don't see James Maddison as a eventual captain at any kind of point, because I can't have my captain doing when Bruno does it. Like, I keep my energy the same, and y'all can say that to a fault. I will keep my energy the same. When I complain about Bruno looking like a fucking rat, flopping around on the floor after getting kicked and whining and crying like a little donkey, you know,
you are the donkey. You are the donkey.
That's the donkey. You're the donkey. Shout out Hassam. Shout out This Is Football.
You whip the donkey.
You take the whip and you hit the donkey, and the donkey goes ee-on. That's the donkey. You're a donkey. Shout out Hassam. I love that. I love that clip.
In regards to Bruno Fernandes, I did see something as we was like, yeah, go on, Jez, go on. Last point.
Just quickly, last point, because obviously, just real quick. Jacob, literally a couple of weeks ago, I actually had this argument about the captain.
He fooled me. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Maddison.
No, Maddison. I'm talking about because and I had this conversation on this show actually, where I said I don't really give a fuck about the captaincy of Son in terms of because some people say he's not captain material and all that, and I'm like, yo, did you see the quality on the pitch? So what's your thought about the whole captaincy issue currently? Like, who should have it next season? All that. Just a quick thought, because obviously we need to get to United sports as well, I guess.
So like, what other signing is it? Can you say that again?
No, he's
Like,
basically
how-
asking about
yeah.
the captaincy, like the importance of it.
Oh,
How important do you think it is?
And how you feel about Sam being the captain? Because obviously a lot of our fan base don't like actually him being the captain.
There's two sides of it in regards to the captain. And sorry that I missed your question, but Son, for me, I was major in the camp of this is my captain as well. That's who I picked to be our captain because of X, Y, and Z. Now, after 12 months of seeing him as a captain, I don't like him as a captain for a couple of reasons. And before I go on a few reasons why, I want to clear up one thing. It is not because he's not emulate like a Roy Keane type. The thing that was always said about him was, oh, well, he's not a manly man. He doesn't yell at players. Every single game he was yelling at Brendan Johnson. Every single game he was yelling at Sarr. Every single game he was yelling at Richarlison. Every single game he was yelling at someone for being a fucking loser because they fucking suck. And he was yelling at them. And I was yelling at him, yelling at them, and we're all yelling at each other. That's happened every game of every competition this year that Son played in. So it's not that he's not vocal. It's not that he's too scary, too soft. It's just people have an image, right? They see Son do this. They see Son with the T-shirt, and I'm like, oh yeah, Youngman Dad. And then they see him smiling all the time, and they think, oh, he's a nice guy. Yeah, and it's the same thing I always say. Just because I am happy in life doesn't mean I am a happy clapper about Tottenham. Like I will call it how I see it.
Call it out.
And people mistake that because I'm laughing and joking about the Timo Werner deal. Oh, now Jacob's a happy clapper. No, I'm just not a miserable fuck. But that's Son. Okay, so Son is a general happy guy, a guy who is always going to uplift the mood and brings the good vibes. And people want, like, they're so stuck in like the cardboard cutout of what a man and what a leader of men look like, right? You need that Roy Keane type, that Vinnie Jones gonna grab you by the shirt or the scrotes and get you to rile up some way. And like, I get that. I sympathize, but I understand why you could think that way. For me, it's not so black and white anymore, especially this day and age. But to Son's discredit as a captain, I saw him this season work harder to involve more people than just doing it himself because he's the guy. And I didn't like that. Son, top of the box. He did it twice for fucking Korea just like 2 days ago. And he wouldn't do it for us. He has the ball outside the box on the right foot. Jez, tell me how many times you've seen this fucking story. Oh, he has it on the left. He's worked it to his right. He's cooking. He just puts it up a step and he's about to get that shot off fucking top bins far post. It's incoming. I've seen it 100 times. But for us, instead of taking that shot, he goes, here you go, Højbjerg. And Højbjerg has a crack at it. Here you go, Brendan Johnson. And he has a crack at it.
And then
he sends it to the fucking moon. I think he was like trying too hard to involve a bunch of losers into a goal scoring process when he should have been the guy. If he would have been more Zlatan and like, you guys are just here to feed me. You feed me. That is what you are to me. If he did that, he would have won the Golden Boot. Erling Haaland would have been crying. No one would have known. Again, it's just, bro, so many, and it happened every game where I'm like, okay, Son, shoot that shit. And I was like, oh, you passed it to who? And he did what? And it's just like, how many times until Son just says, fuck it, bro, give me the ball, let me hoop. That's that at some point, because he is that guy. At some point, you have to be that guy to take over. Like Kane, even though it wasn't in finals and in games in which we could win silverware, there were times where we were shit for 88 minutes and Kane said, give me the ball and let me cook. And he did something. And again, prefaced by not in finals, not in semifinals, probably not the quarterfinals, maybe in the group stage. But again, he did that in games in the Premier League too, where he just took over. And Son has to do that, and he doesn't. And I feel like the captaincy could be weighing on him, where he's like, "It's my job to involve these bunch of losers into this," and he shouldn't. Just shoot the ball, my G. That's my long form answer of why I don't want Son as a captain. But for commerciality and for lack of redundancy purposes, he will remain the Tottenham Hotspur captain. Don't get it twisted.
There we go. Big up everyone that's locked in. We are going to close out very, very shortly. Still over 200 people locked in, over 220. Make sure you subscribe to Jacob's channel, United Spurs of America. The link is in the title. Click the link right now, whether you're watching this live or watching this back. Big up to you. Shouts to you if you're listening on the audio platform, Spotify iTunes or somewhere else. We're only at 111 likes, though. Let's get up to 150 likes. Like check 1212. Like check 1212. So if anything we missed in regards to Chelsea, obviously we spoke about Julian Alvarez. Is there anything else recently you wanted to get to?
Well,
we cover everything.
Yeah, Tottenham signed today, so that's on a free transfer. It's going to be a good deal.
Good. You reckon good signing for you? Okay, first.
Yeah. At least everything's still in the water. I think we've got a good shot of signing him. If I'm being honest with you.
So that's good. That's what I'm about to ask.
We were going to sign him. We were going to sign him last season. Ironically, we didn't. And then we signed Palmer. So I'm actually quite glad we didn't sign him last season. So it could be one of those things. Yeah, it's just now everything changes now. With that, like I said, with that FFP news, everything changes now. No rush to sell players. So if you want to negotiate, you're going to have to actually negotiate. We're in a stronger position than we were 48 hours ago. Especially like with Spurs. Like Daniel Levy can't come with a lowball bid now. Do you know what I mean? He can't come in. Do you know what I mean? He'll try, but yeah, we gotta. I'm just everything is a question mark because with Maresca, everyone goes, yeah, look what he done at Leicester, and I couldn't give a flaming doodah what he done at Leicester. He's in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? Why would I care? It doesn't apply to my team here.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
played 46 games where they, it was it's the toughest league, toughest physical league to get out of. But they sometimes play Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, stuff like that. And
wasn't tough for Marcelo Bielsa, by the way.
Don't get me started on Bielsa fraud.
Yeah, don't get me started.
I'm just mentioning managers that wins the championship and quickly got promoted. If that's the attribution that we're given to Enzo Mascherano, but then
got beaten by Lampard in the playoffs, did Bielsa? I remember that. Yeah, that's what happened to him. Hold that, Bielsa. But yeah, no.
Relegated, hold that. Man with Leeds, hold that.
We were linked to
still in the championship. Hold that. But go on, carry on.
He's with Uruguay now. So
no, I'm talking about Leeds. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny this week. They said, Maresca likes Sanchez, and I quickly pointed out, last season when Poch joined, he said he worked with Kepa, and then Kepa went out on loan. So that story's not good. And then today we're linked with ironically, it's one of our goalkeepers we let go, Bolker from Nice.
Yeah, Bolker.
We're linked with him. He's got quite, I know Steve. You want to talk about players out for another league? Go to Strasbourg, Steve. Very good on that. He seems to rate him quite a lot. So yeah, it's just it's just speculation, Flores, and it's only June the friggin' 7th. Do you know what I mean? We've got another 2.5 months of this bullshit. Do you know what I mean? It's like friggin' hell. I'm like, I was waiting for your mob to do the white smoke, like if Ten Hag stays or something,
No,
all this week it's always, and I'll segue this for your Man United stuff, Flores. All this week it's been literally everyone's been going Friday. Something's gonna happen Friday.
Yeah.
Nothing happened Friday whatsoever.
Zero happened, and the people will ask me, what I'm saying, like, oh, do you think it is? Please keep it clean in the chat, people, or you will be blocked. But yeah, like in regards to Manchester United, and I keep saying this every platform, so it don't matter if it's my platform, whatever other platform you see me on. Yes, we will come here and discuss rumors and hypotheticals and things of this nature. The reason why I don't get emotionally invested, even though I answer questions, whether it's from the panelists or people in the chat, is because 99.9% of people reporting on this don't know what they are talking about. They don't know what is going on. It is merely, and they can't print nothing. Journalists in the transfer window who are covering football cannot just tweet. They just can't go a day without tweeting. You can't go without putting a story on their online page. They can't go without
retweet your old tweet. That's a good one too.
Yeah, you can retweet your old tweet, but they have to talk about something. So sometimes even they're guessing. Obviously, some will come out and say, this is my opinion, it's merely speculation. So why I don't get too involved. Even today, well, it's technically yesterday now, I spoke about earlier on the Man United when Sky Sports had said that there could be, next week, it could be announced about the future of Ten Hag. And the key words I took from that was could be announced next week. Could be. So there's no guarantee, which lets us know that everybody's fucking guessing, which I've been stating.
It could be next week. It could be next year.
It could be, like all the work, all the people United have fired, all the people we've put in place, and no one knew nothing about it. No one knew nothing about it. And to Maddison is slow. United are too slow. Nothing's changed. That's not the case because the hierarchy's changed. And this is someone who's still very, very, very doubtful about INEOS. But in regards to the moves they've made in the hierarchy, they've done the correct things. I cannot fault them for that. Am I still annoyed that Ten Hag is still here? Yes. Would I like? To me, there's nothing to assess. However, everything else, I can't fault them for. Everybody they've got rid of, everybody they brought in have been spot on. They're actually bringing in footballing people. They're actually bringing in footballing people in footballing positions who've actually done things in the past, like Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, even the chief communications officer we brought in. So it's not slow. And that part, the manager thing is, go on, Jacob. What was you gonna say?
You can kind of appreciate. I mean, I appreciate the creativity, right? Because all it takes is transfer.com to say Spurs are prepared to bid 40 million on Ivan Toney, and every Spurs aggregator. Now, this is my source. Every huge pod, this is my source. It's transfer.com. They said we're prepared to do it. I'm prepared to win the lottery. I win the lottery. I'm very prepared for a $40 million check come find its way into my hands. I'm so prepared for it. You wouldn't understand. But it's just they always find a new way to be like Tottenham are admired. Like when I swear, I don't even think that Tottenham linked us with Eze. I think it was fans driving the narrative that we want a Brecci Eze at Tottenham so bad that they were like, Tottenham are interested in him. That's for sure.
Yeah, but are we actually going to do anything about it? This is what I say. Like the S, I love S, but
every single time,
like I have not seen until I actually start seeing concrete talks with him. Then I can be like, okay, maybe there's more. But interested. I'm interested. I used to example all the time. I'm interested in Magnus Ross. I'm interested in Beyonce. But it doesn't mean I'm gonna get both of them. Like I said another thing that I regret. I say back Tottenham for them too. Like because I love them, bro. But
yeah, they also do that. Tottenham is an admirer of Abrici Eze. Jez is an admirer of Iggy Azalea. I've seen the tweets. Yeah. Admirer maybe not even doesn't even do it justice what Jez is to Iggy Azalea.
Exactly, but she doesn't know me, bro. But I still admire her though.
She might though. One day though, she might though, Jez.
Hey, maybe. Would you give? By the way, where's INEOS' ambition? And this ties back into what we were saying about the attitude thing. So one instance, and they've got no ambition. So to answer your question, yes, I would give Johnny Evans a new contract. Yes, I would. I don't just look at his age. Now, should he be starting week in, week out? No. Should he be first off the bench? No. But if he's number 5, so if he's 5th choice, there's 4 centre-backs in front of him, I have no issue with Johnny Evans. I had no issue with us signing Johnny Evans. You know why? Because when he played well, he plays to a good level. He plays to a competent level. But people just look at the name and look at the age. I have no issue with that. Now, it should be Martinez, and a left-sided centre-back behind him, a right-sided centre-back, a new one. Let's say it's Tadibo, for example. We sign a left-sided centre-back and we sign another centre-back. So that's 4. And then you have Evans. Yeah, Evans in 2025. And what? City still have Carson. What are we talking about here? But again, that's just before you go, that's just a proper lazy way to look at it. And in regards to the only football guys they brought in is Wilcox, Barada, and Blanc. So wait, Omar Barada was a footballing guy at Manchester City. Jean-Claude Blanc does his job. So what are we talking about here? Yeah, the physio they brought in, that's not a banker. They brought in a chief communications officer. But like I said, Evans, Maddison, if you want to stay mad at it, that's your business. I'll look at it.
I also like Blanc's cousin, Savion.
Yeah. These are the Madisons. These are the Madisons, man. Like I agree with one of my football clubs too, but it's what it's. Hey, by the way, talking about this whole reporting thing, actually, because there's a Lee Gunner video on my phone that actually fits this whole scenario. One sec, let me play this because this video sums it all up, man. One sec.
Yes.
Scouting the player, weighing up the options, monitoring, discussing. They appreciate the player, edging closer, studying.
Edging closer is actually crazy.
Flirting, leading the race, targeting.
Leading the race. I love leading the race.
Considering, keeping tabs on the player, reimbursement terms, following. He's a concrete name. Luring, gauging, in love with. How many more buzzwords do these journos need? How many more buzzwords?
Oh no!
That's a comprehensive list. That's kind of impressive.
What they do. And to say he's old, man, I don't know. This is not United ambition. So how old was Giggs when he was here? Was Giggs not here till he was 40? Yeah. Did Paul Scholes not retire and then come back after retirement at late 30s.
Yeah.
Stop looking at age like it's not like what is the player? Yes, Evans shouldn't be starting week in, week out. But like I said, the moves they made upstairs are on point. Omar Barada, to say Omar Barada is not a footballing guy is crazy. Just do your Googles. To say Jean-Claude Blanc is not, before you go, to say Jean-Claude Blanc is not a footballing guy is crazy. All you have to do is do your Googles. What we talk, Jason Wilcox is a footballing guy also. The chief communication officer is a footballing guy. What are we talking about here? They've performed in their roles at football clubs successfully. What are we talking about here? One
That's
thing.
that's someone put in the chat. The one term league I did mention was that happened a couple of years ago. Oh, the player is seduced to join. To join
what did they do to this man?
It's like what are you talking about? But then it's like the report today is like it's funny when going back to Alvarez. It was like Chelsea are preparing a bid for Alvarez in a couple of days. It's like, what are they baking it? What are they doing?
To be fair, that source, that Argentinian source is pretty reliable. The Argentinian source is usually.
I'm talking about the language used. It's like they're preparing a bid in a couple of days. It's like, well that's great. So,
well, what did they do today? What is the news today?
It's Bowley and Barley doing like a GTA robbery or some shit. Like, get the money. I'm not saying that we have to get the money. It's not saying it's so stupid, and this is how these reporters drag out these stories, and that's why I hate. That's why I hate the transfer market more than I hate the actual season, even when we are shit, because it's like the same repeated stuff, and people believe in things that don't even are real. Like, I Euros are saving me, honestly.
If I can compare it to something, so in the NFL, this started to become a thing. There's a guy named Adam Schefter, and the only reason, like Fabrizio, Adam Schefter had the inside scoop on everything is because he's buddy with the 10, 15 agents that represent the mass majority of the people in the league. So when there's 5 agencies that all the players are contracted under, you know the 5 different agents that work for each 5. So it's 25 people you have to be friends with. And when you're friendly with them, they give you the information. And that's exactly what Fabrizio and these journalists do, is exactly what Adam Schefter did. You get buddy with the agencies and the agencies business, or the agents and their agencies, and then they start giving you information. They leak little things for you to run with. You take this one thing, which is, hey, you have like your club, your guy's on a list, right, with someone. Like, yeah. Tottenham said that they were monitoring his situation, like they were looking at him. So they're monitoring, Tottenham are monitoring so-and-so situation. Boom, take that. Now I get 10,000 or whatever it is, because everyone takes that information and runs with it. So when you do that and it's successful, then you get the B-Tech people and the tiers they start following, right? Like, because everyone wants to be, oh, I heard this and that. And then you got people who just make shit up because if it does happen, they're saying, I'm the first one to do it. Like the source.
And before you go from Evans, that's the level you can't compare a situation. It wasn't a comparison. You mentioned age, and now all of a sudden you're mentioning quality. Yeah. So it's not an age thing; it's a quality thing, because you accepted Giggsy, you accepted Scholes. Evans played well this season, and like I've stated from the jump, he should be 5th choice. There should be 4 centre backs in front of him. I'm not gonna complain about the 5th choice centre back. You know why? Because we should barely see him anyway. So it's him getting a new deal. I have no issue with. Adding the fact as well, not only does he play well when he performs, not only does he play well when he gets on the pitch, his experience matters as well. He's professional, he's good to have around, and he can be relied upon. Because this season, he actually played well. He was solid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 6 out of 10 the entire season. But hey, I'm not going to complain about the 5th choice centre back, but that's just me. We finished the season. That's not, again, as Maddison, that's nothing to do with Johnny Evans. But hey,
that's true.
Now you just moving the goalpost. That's Johnny Evans' fault. Yeah. It's nothing to do with Johnny
Evans. It's all down to Johnny Evans.
Yeah, it's down to Johnny. I literally just said he should be the 5th choice centre back.
Yeah.
5th. There should be 4 in front of him. That's not what Manchester United to go do. Getting rid of Varane, that's a bigger issue. I don't like that.
That's massive.
No, he should have been kept. That's where I would have started with. But all right, we move first. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I like them to do,
like you're gonna be starting week in, week out. Yeah, go on, sir.
Do you know what I like them doing? I want them to adopt an NBA style thing with the transfer window, when like the NBA
it's just one guy
announce basically the big deals or the like 95% of deals on one day. I would like them to do that. Like in the
not only that, it's one guy. It's one guy in the NBA. Woj. The
Woj,
Woj.
yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
it is. If Woj, it's like Woj will say it and it comes true. Woj will be
Yeah.
the one to break it and it comes true. Woj, that's what I'm saying. It's all in one area, and that's what I can get behind. What I can't get behind is when we attribute that same amount of status to a Fabrizio Romano, but then it comes out that a Scandinavian league has received emails from Fabrizio Romano's management group saying, if you send us 6,000 pounds worth of your currency, we'll tweet out your guy's a wonder kid and we'll promote him so someone will come in and bid for him. That shows me there's no legitimacy to it. So like it really frustrates the hell out of me when we've got these off seasons filled with, well, Fabrizio doesn't say it, then it's not happening. Fabrizio's just running off of what he sees on Twitter, what his people see on Twitter, and the agents that he does know, but he doesn't know all the agents. And people attribute all this credit to him like he knows all the shit whenever he's like, the emails are there from Fabrizio Romano Inc. or whatever the fucking business name is. They're there saying $6,000 worth of your Scandinavian money, you little tiny puny club. And we'll say one of your best players is the next big thing in Europe, and all these people are monitoring so that way others people will come sniffing around thinking they can get a better deal on the next big thing. Like, that is a ploy that not only affects every single market around the world, but also is just a blatant fucking lie. And it inflates the markets all around the world. Big up Ziad.
Yeah, and big up Ziad for the raid as well.
big
Make
up
sure you
Ziad.
subscribe to Ziad's Zone, people. Shout out to Ziad every single time. Subscribe to his channel. And to Maddison, who says, it's just I thought INEOS would do better. I don't dislike Evans. Why did you think INEOS were going to do better? That's what I want to know.
Because I think because people familiarize themselves, because I think obviously I don't know, but from what I know from certain people, the way they look at it sometimes is that new automatic means better, but just because something is new, it doesn't mean it's going to be better immediately. It could be the same, it could be even worse. So it's only where you have to just wait and judge.
Yeah, because this is coming from someone I didn't want INEOS in the first place. So I didn't expect them to do better. I didn't want them to take over.
Yeah.
Like Kaneki always says, you can't own 25% of a car.
Better the devil you know than the devil you don't know something. And this is an argument that I was constantly going on with Tottenham as well. It's like, oh, well, let's just sell the fucking club to somebody because Daniel Levy hasn't won a trophy with us and one trophy in his entire reign. And I get that, but then you sell it to someone who does what the Glazers do, and rather than putting any money into it, they're taking money out of it. I would rather Levy put the minimal effort he does while still putting a little in and getting us a nice stage. And when I go to Tottenham, I can drive a fucking go-kart underneath the stadium. That's kind of cool. I know it, like the purists are like fucking pissed, but I'm a go-kart. I'm gonna walk around the roof of that fucking stadium. You ain't walk around the roof of Old Trafford, I'll tell you that much. So again, it's better than the devil you know than the unknown.
With normally yes, but not with this instance. No, like not in this instance because they absolutely crook. So let's not do that. About normally you'd be right, but let's not do that. And Abdi says INEOS brother seem like they're moving like the Glazers, super confused. They're supposed to be better. Again, here's another thing: is props to the INEOS for what they've done in regards to. As I've already said it, the people they brought in. So that's already automatically shows me they're not Glazers 2.0 because they're actually attempting to improve upstairs. However, how much power do they have? I actually think that's why Ten Hag is still here because there is some pushback, I think, from the Glazers around keeping him personally. Again, that's just speculation because everything else they've done is swift. They've got rid of who they wanted to get rid of. They've hired who they wanted to hire, and it's been swift and done very, very quickly, very efficient, no drawn out sagas. And the only time we found out about it when it's been done. So I believe the pushback comes from there. So yes, to call them Glazers 2.0, I think is wrong because they're actually they've actually shown they're attempting to do better. However, can they yield the power? Will do, and two things. One, do they actually have the power to change? And two, do they have the smarts to do it? This is why I didn't want INEOS in the first place. This is why I didn't want them in the first, and I still stand on that. But we'll see.
I will also say that just because there's a sale of stakes in in a club doesn't mean that the club's going to start operating drastically different. Not every takeover is going to be like City. Not every takeover is like PSG. You know what I mean? And I think that we get so caught up with the fantasy. And I'm saying this from a Spurs fan perspective because I too have been on the side. Another season, Ben Davies is my left back and Eric Dyer's next to him. Kill me, kill me, kill me. Because Eric Dyer and Ben Davies was pushing me to the brink of insanity. I was about to lose my shit. I was this close. But Eric Dyer went to Schnitzelville. My point being is like, I've been there where I'm thinking anyone other than Levy is a step up. But then, you know, I see how other clubs are operating. I see, like, I'll use Leeds, for example. We brought up Leeds earlier. That Italian guy comes in, buys them. He's like, I got all this ambition. He does all this, gets them promoted. The second he gets fucking relegated, I'm out. See ya. Yeah. Now you got to figure out what you're doing.
The thing is, with Ratcliffe, the talk has been great. Like what he said has been fantastic, but it's now time to put it into action. And everything I've been saying,
like he's one of them.
Yeah,
he's one of them. Smooth talkers.
Yeah, like he impressed me. I was like surprised, like when he was saying certain things. I was like, all right, you're actually a footballing person, but again, it's easy to talk the talk. Now you have to put these things into place. That's why with anyone who is shocked by what INEOS are doing or surprised, that's your fault for setting your expectations so high. Why did you think INEOS were going to come in and when you didn't want INEOS in the first place? Make that make sense.
Bought 25%.
He bought 25%. Now, like I would be if it was 100% sale. Let's say it was Sheikh Jassim, or let's even say it was Ratcliffe and INEOS, and it was 100% sale. Then I would be more annoyed. But I understand there could be some pushback, and there's people they have to answer to, and that's why I think Ten Hag is genuinely still here because what is there to discuss? I personally think I'll say it again. The Glazers want to keep Ten Hag, but I think INEOS and Ratcliffe want to get rid of him, and that's where it's coming to a head. And you know what? Even go even further, there may be someone on the INEOS side as well who's like, you know what? I like Ten Hag, and there is some pushback. But again, don't set your expectations high. I really don't get it in regards to, yes, you can be pleased with what they've done. Again, I'm pleased with what they've done. Omar Barado, brilliant appointment. Jean-Claude Blanc, brilliant appointment. Wilcox makes sense. The chief the chief communicator they got also makes sense because they've all worked together previously and they've all had success elsewhere. Makes sense. Love that. But there's so many more things that Manchester United need to do. But that is a great start. But that's it, a start. That is it. And the next thing is get rid of the manager. Yes, they've also made cuts in many other areas too. And then bring in the next manager and have a style and decide who's leaving and then decide who's like, even this thing I'm seeing about Bruno Fernandes saying, he wants a pay rise for what? You want a pay rise in your new deal for what? You don't deserve no pay rise.
The GA is probably the only thing he can point at. I think.
The GA is not even that much, Jacob.
And the captain of a side that has won 2 trophies in 2 years. If I'm his agent, this is how I'm getting my check fatter too. 2 trophies in 2 years. You show me other Premier League captains who've done that.
And his agent's that confident in the deal. That's why he's talking to other clubs in Europe. You know what I'm saying? That's how confident his agent is. That he's out here talking to other clubs in Europe.
There's a lot of good selling points. Like I've been a salesman. I know how to find ways to sell a stapler. I could sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo. You know what I mean? But
I'm fully aware you are talking.
Yeah, I know you know. I know you know how I could operate. So I could sell Bruno Fernandes to about 90% of the clubs around the world. I'm confident.
Hey, get him to Spurs, man. There you go. Get him to
No. See, he still is an upgrade on Giovanni Lo Celso, which is who we got because we didn't get him. We were like, fuck it, go get the next Fernandez on our list and Giovanni Lo Celso on loan. That's what we did.
Imagine both Bruno and Maddison on the floor whining. No.
Both of them get hit. They're both like, it's a foul.
Asking for a pay rise after his performances is crazy, but we move.
Anyways, I would be the same thing. I'm delusional too. Let me be.
Well, it's crazy, but
but you're a shameless prick. So,
you are a shameless prick, guys. You know what I'm saying?
It's like that too. So like me and Bruno, we got the same mentality.
No. He's actually, he is shameless. I can't say he's like that, but he's definitely shameless.
That's what I'm trying to say. So like,
we get packed 6-0 by you lot. He's like, it would have been 6-0 if I didn't score my penalty. All right, bet.
That's much shameless.
Crazy. But hey, that's the captain. You know what I'm saying? That's you lot's guy whose agent is all.
Bro, if I ever was like in that group huddle and I turned and the dude talking was Bruno looking like this, I swear to God, I'd be like, can someone else give today's speech? You're really not doing it for me today, Captain.
Harry Kane.
That's why Harry Kane didn't talk. He just led on the pitch. He just led on the pitch. because it doesn't fire you up. I'll tell you that much. It don't fire you up. I just all right. I kind of feel bad for you, but all right.
It's crazy. Yeah. As I said, I believe he'll get a new contract. Fans think he's our savior. It's crazy, son. INEOS will see, but there's a reason, like I said, his agent's talking to European clubs. Is it to get a new deal with Manchester United? Is it because he genuinely wants to move? Is that a mix of both?
Leverage is always your best friend, right?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both because he doesn't know exactly what's going on, which I actually do like about. That's one thing I will credit INEOS with is that the leaks have stopped. You know what I'm saying? And metaphorically, before someone's like, oh, not look at the stadium. Yes, fucking metaphorically, dickheads. But anyways,
I would also say that's a good sign for United that they haven't done it yet, because if it's them operating as before and they're completely satisfied with Bruno Fernandes at the end of the season, bang, new deal announced, get everyone back up hype. Because guess what? We got 4 more years of Bruno Fernandes, and you know that get people riled up about something. So they haven't done that. So there's, again, like with Timo Werner, I find the little positive throughout the negative. They didn't do it yet. So just like with Ten Hag.
That is it. Yeah. Which lets me know that there is some unknown. So it's like, all right, that's all good. And hopefully he does indeed.
They're not just
do I believe he leaves? No. I don't think I'm that lucky, because it'd just be like, if we sign no one and he left, that is transfer.
That would be flawless.
That's the transfer of the summer. If he leaves and that is transfer of the summer. Just to see somebody else trying to create our attack. Run me anybody.
Like that. Just like Mount last year when he left my club.
Yeah, we signed him, but people were like, "Oh, that's a good signing for you." Like, yeah, sure. You lot are quiet now. Jumped off that bandwagon, fucking.
I mean,
Jess, shut the fuck up, mate. How about that? But anyways, run up the likes, hit the subscribe button. Run up the likes, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to Jacob's channel, United Spurs of America. Links in the title. Jacob, let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, all that good stuff.
Well, first and foremost, before you listen to my voice about anything that I've screamed about or just uttered out of my mouth like a cow's teats, like the video, all right? Because it's been over 2 hours of this show, and I don't know that you could go to a better place than Sarcasm City TV. So for me, this is one of my favorite places to end my evenings, whether it be the playback, the YouTube. The city of sarcasm never fails to disappoint, and the lights are always on. So hit that like and subscribe first and foremost. And secondly, you can find me at United Spurs of America, where the lights are on, but very quickly, like I found out today, the lights will get fucking turned off real quick. But we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, talk about Ivan Toney and whatever else we're interested in seducing. We were sauntering next to, keeping tabs on GPS location services activated for so-and-so. Who knows? But we'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow. Maybe I'll have a guest, maybe not. You know, I don't know anything in this life. So just hit a like and subscribe, though. That is free, and that I do know.
There you go. So go subscribe to Jacob's channel, United Spurs of America. Link is in the title. Don't forget this show, audio of the shows on the channel, people. All the shows on the channel on the YouTube are available on all audio platforms apart from watch alongs. So Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to podcasts or wherever you listen to music. If there is a podcast section, type in Sarcasm City TV. So on Spotify, if you're a Spotify user, just type in Sarcasm City TV, hit the follow, 5-star rate us. Same for all you iPhone users as well. Anyone who's an iPhone user, 5 stars and leave us a review on iTunes, Apple Podcast. Same with SoundCloud, hit us with a follow or wherever you be listening. Shout out to Spoobs as well. But don't go anywhere because we'll be going live. We're going to run 2 streams. We're going to do gaming content. I'm going to run Fight Night Champion straight after this. That'll be on the YouTube and the playback. So we're going to redirect to the Fight Night Champion. I'm currently 9-0. Yeah, 9-0. So we're gonna redirect straight to there. Also be live on the playback, and then 3 a.m. UK time. We're doing the second WNBA watch along because the first one was such a success. People, we're doing the LA Sparks versus the Dallas Wings. People, so make sure you are there. Jacob was there and Jez was there for that. So yeah, WNBA. The actual quality of the basketball was good as well, which did surprise us. And the watch along was a success. So if you want to watch along with us, I've been giving out VIP passes for the game, people. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check us out on the playback and here on the YouTube as well. But like I said, we're going to redirect over to Fight Night Champion, and I'll be live on there in literally 2 minutes. What else was I going to say as well? Oh yeah, tomorrow, people, 11 p.m. UK time. Well, today, technically 11 p.m. We're doing the 11K subscriber party. 11K because we just haven't got to it. We're now at like 11.6. I know it's late, but we celebrate milestones over here. So make sure you pull up with a drink. It doesn't matter if it's liquor, doesn't matter if it's H2O, apple juice, orange juice. Just make sure you have something in your cup, drink, and come celebrate. Because everyone knows what happened the last subscriber party. Everyone knows what happened. That's where 16 out of 10 became a thing. It was literally from that live stream, people. That's where it was, it was found and dug up and became a part of the, a part of the channel, a part of content creator folklore. That's why I say I don't think anyone will ever forget it.
This is the Hall of Fame. It's the golden jacket of Hall of Fame.
It's literally a video in the Hall of Fame. And if you don't know, or if you're feeling bad, or maybe INEOS are not moving correctly, maybe your new owners haven't sacked the manager. Maybe you have maybe you are feeling bad. Maybe you had to cut a stream short because of a child. Maybe you want your current manager sacked. Maybe a manager that you wanted at your club is not there. Maybe you're selling a player you actually want to keep. Maybe you're buying a player that you actually don't want your club to buy. Well, at least you didn't say this dumb story.
By the way, can I just say the two girls below us are looking 16 out of 10s today, both of them.
Look at his dumb face. All right, big up the panel. Look at his dumb face. Hey, that clip, I love that clip, yo. See Ryan get embarrassed. Just in 4K is brilliant. It's great.
One of those girls just goes. My wife gives me that too when I say some dumb shit. She's just like, what do I even say? Half the time she just ignores me. I'm like, did you hear me? I'll repeat myself. So
you saw the woman, the black woman, the way she was looking at Stephen A. Smith, and he was saying some dumb shit about the WWE. I was like, and somebody quoted it as saying, "That's the one look every black man has seen at least one time from a black woman." And I said, I can relate to that.
Oh yeah, I think we've all seen a woman when we said something, and they just look at you.
It's crazy.
Like they can't believe what you just said. But hey,
I like to say that's part of my riz.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure your wife knew what she was getting. She wasn't shocked. She was like, "Oh my God, Jacob." I'm sure, like, she was not surprised whatsoever. That being said, at least you didn't say.
She must have the patience of a saint. That woman, your wife, as well.
Yeah. She a real one for real. 100%.
Yeah, I did tell her about 30 minutes ago. I was like, "Yeah, I'm almost done."
Yeah,
but I'm also not in a hurry to get out there because I hear kids, I hear bottles clanking. It's madness. I ain't in a hurry, boys. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, in that man cave.
You keep going, and I just say, "Sorry, boo. I forgot about the time. My bad."
Hey, Jacob, when are you getting that portable fridge put in there so you never have to leave that room?
So I can just stay here. Yeah,
good idea. Portable fridge. If I had a portable fridge and a stove, man would never leave. Yeah. But anyways, microwave for that. Love to everyone that's locked in. Like I said, we'll be live. Fight Night Champion. I'm 9-0. I'm doing the career mode, so stay right here on the YouTube. And then following that, 3 a.m. UK time, we'll be on the playback for the LA Sparks, Dallas Wings, WNBA game, people. But love to everyone that's locked in. This has been the Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur Show, Man United podcast, Ballers at the Bridge podcast, talking that Tottenham talk live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in.